time I close my eyes, every time I close my time I close my eyes.
Yes, guys, welcome in. How's everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, we're doing a call-in show today. So what I'll do, I'll go chat for a little bit, open up, and then we'll open up the phone lines for you guys to call in with whatever you want to chat about today. You don't even have to be a Liverpool fan, just call in and chat up. Whatever you want to talk about. Big up to everyone in your house. Hope you're all doing well. Big up Jenny in the house, Daz, Ryan, Vic, Kay, Pac-Man. Hope you're all doing well. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys, and subscribe as well if you are new. And guys, don't forget to share the video around. I've got some big news coming up in the next week or so. I'm going to be sharing with you. So make sure you look out for that. Quite exciting news. So yeah, make sure you're looking out for that. But otherwise, I hope everyone is good. Big up to Jersey Boy as well. John in the house as well. Big up my man, Liverpool therapy, you know. Yeah, we're going to talk about, obviously, I've done my whole thing about Liverpool Crystal Palace. You know, I've done my whole Liverpool Crystal Palace preview and review and match. And I've done it all. You know, that game is dead to me. That is one of the worst games of football I've ever seen in my life. Personally, I think it's the worst game of football under the Jurgen Klopp era. It's just woeful. I never want to revisit that game again in my life. What are we going to talk about? So we've got things to talk about today. We're going to have to talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold. What do we actually do about Trent Alexander-Arnold? Jurgen Klopp and FSG promising us there's going to be a big change up in the summer, a big clear out, and there's going to be money to be spent. I believe there will be money to spend, and I think Liverpool will spend money because FSG have got no choice. But it's not going to be on players that everyone wants, and that's going to be the problem. I do think we'll get players in. I literally think we'll get 3 midfielders and a centre-back. I just don't think it'll be the players people want, and that's going to be the issue. Also, we've got to talk about Klopp and his tactical in-game management a little bit. You know, Klopp's in-game management is a bit crap at the moment. It's a bit crap in the moment. Yeah, we've got other things like that to chat about as well. What I'll do, I'm going to chat for a little while about these subjects, guys, and I'm going to open up the phone lines and get you guys in on this as well. I can't wait to hear from you guys today as well. There's lots to talk about. One thing I do want to talk about first is Liverpool fans mocking Man United for winning the League Cup. don't do it. It's pathetic. Look, as I keep saying it before, when we won the League Cup last year, I celebrated like you wouldn't believe. It's a major trophy. It's a major trophy, and it should be celebrated. Yeah, it's a major trophy that should be celebrated. And why are we all of a sudden mocking Man United winning it and the way they celebrated? Look, they won a trophy for 6 years. I would take the League Cup now. Do you know how much I would take the League Cup now? And these Liverpool fans on Twitter that are slagging Man United off and saying it's a Mickey Mouse Cup and stop celebrating it ain't like the Champions League. You're making us Liverpool fans look like shit, right? This is why Liverpool fans get a bad rap. This is why Liverpool fans get a bad rap, because we overhype everything. And, you know, when we win it, it's the greatest thing in the world. And when everyone else wins it, it's Mickey Mouse. That's got to stop, because it makes us look stupid, and we're not stupid. We're not stupid, you know. It comes off salty, it does, and petty. It's just ridiculous. You know, I would take, if you told me Liverpool could win the cup now, I'll take it. Any cup. I'll take any cup right now. Yeah, the Irish guy, Jonathan Moore. Look, I don't get it. I mean, these people, I don't know why they do it. I am sick of seeing 30-odd-year-old grown men going on TikTok and doing Liverpool videos mocking other people. Stop it. Starters, you're in your 30s. Don't go on TikTok. Secondly, stop mocking, because we are crap. Why are you mocking when we're crap? Mock when we're great. Yeah, that's when you can mock. Go and give banter when we are good. Don't do it when we're crap. It looks, because it makes us look weak and it makes us look pathetic. It makes us look so bad. It makes us look so bad as a fan base. And that is why other fans, rival fans, think all Liverpool fans are the same. You know, and we're not. You know, when I talk to other fans, they're like, oh, you're not. I've had this so many times when I've gone on other people's channels, or Pat-Man will say it to me or something like that. Like, you're not like other Liverpool fans. It's because that's most of us Liverpool fans are not like these plums on social media. 35-year-old men doing TikTok videos in their basement, you know, mocking Man United winning a cup. I hate Man United to death. I hate Man United to death. But I ain't going to mock them for winning a League Cup, because we're crap. What am I mocking about? We're 8th in the Premier League or whatever it is. Man United comfortably in top 4 at the moment, and they've got a League Cup in their hands. And they could possibly win the Europa League this year with the teams left in that. Why am I mocking? To any Liverpool fan, just don't do it. It's just mad. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. Next, unfortunately, some sad news. So, I'm going to put his picture up on the screen. Unfortunately, Stephen, who we know in the YouTube world here, a big Arsenal fan. He's got his own YouTube channel. Now, I've not actually done a direct show with Stephen before, but I have been on a couple of videos before, a couple of shows before that Stephen was on, and he's a big Arsenal fan. He came across a lovely young man who was just very, very, very passionate about his football team. I think he was massive into Formula One as well. Unfortunately, he passed away early hours this morning. I think he was suffering from a kidney or a liver disease. I can't remember right now, but he's been suffering it since childhood, and unfortunately lost his life. He passed away the early hours this morning, which is really sad, and it's knocked us all a little bit, because he's a nice guy and really passionate about his football club. And yeah, I know there's like Miss Molina out there who's very close to him. A lot of the Arsenal some of the Arsenal fan base on YouTube are very close to him as well, and showed their respects. I believe Gabriel Martinelli, big up to him, sent a tweet out or something. So much love to him. Doug, we all know Doug, Doug Football, Doug channel. Doug knows him quite well. Done videos with him in the past. As I say, I've never done a direct video where I've gone on his channel or he's come on my channel, because we never got time to do that. But I have been on shows where we've both been invited on someone else's show before, and So I have met him a couple of times, and he was a lovely young man. And yeah, unfortunately, he liver disease took his life. Unfortunately, it's such a shame. But condolences to him and his family, and everyone over at Jamie Phillips Football Chats, everyone in the comments right now. We just send our love. It's not a nice thing, but I thought it was right thing for me to do, just to say a little something to show my respect. So yeah, yeah, it's a sad day, sad day. Big up all the guys in the chat. Big up all the guys in the chat. Yeah, yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Nice guy. Yes, but my mates who support Man United last year when Liverpool won the Carab. Oh yeah, you gotta get that. You gotta get that. Everyone's gotta be everyone. Look, football's about banter, but it's just a time and place to do it. You know what I mean? There's a time and place to do it. Do it when you're on top. Liverpool were like third in the Premier League or second, chasing Arsenal for the Premier League this year, and beat Real Madrid and going well and everything's going brilliantly. Yeah, you can have a bit of fun, but we can't at the moment, can we? We can't at the moment. You know what I mean? But yeah, respect to Stephen. Big up to everyone in the chat. Yeah. Respect to Stephen. Yeah. I know a lot of people. He knew a lot of people, so I feel for him, man. Feel for him. Feel for his family. Well, let's talk about. Let's go from that to another. So let's go to. Let's talk about Trent. After that, big up, Stephen. Let's talk about Trent. What do we do with Trent Alexander-Arnold? What do we do, guys? What do we do about Trent Alexander-Arnold? Because right now, I'm not sure what we do. I'm not sure. I think we're stuck at the moment. I think Trent's stuck. I don't know what Trent. I mean, I'm going to look at. I think Trent is what, 24, 25? How old's Trent? Trent is 24 years of age. He's going to be 25 in October, yeah, this year. Trent has won, obviously, the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, the League Cup, Super Cup, World Club Championships. He's won everything major there is to win in football. But we have a problem with it. We can't not say this. We have a Trent problem at the moment, yeah? And my problem with Trent right now is that he's going to be 25 in October, and he's a right back for us, but he doesn't play like a right back or look like a right back right now. And it's a worry that he hasn't improved in that position as a right back. And this is my issue with it all. I love what Trent does going forward. There's no doubt about that. Even rival fans will say going forward, Trent is an amazing footballer. But he is a right back for us. And the whole reason Jurgen Klopp, like, I know everyone keeps saying we've got to play Trent in midfield, play Trent in midfield, play Trent in midfield. That's where he should be playing. That's where Trent should be playing. Jurgen Klopp, unfortunately, doesn't see that. So when Trent was in the youth side, when he was in the youth setup, Klopp and his coaches were massive admirers of Trent, right? And they wanted to try and get him into the first team, but not as a midfielder. So they spoke to the youth setup, the youth coaches down there, the under 23s, the under 19s, is it? They spoke to the youth coaches, and said, can we start coaching Trent as a right back? Can we sort of like get Trent in as a right back because we need him in the first team, but I just don't feel he can be good enough as a midfielder at the top level. So can we try and do it as a right back? So Trent got coached as a right back. Then we had Nathaniel Klein's injury. So Nathaniel Klein got injured quite badly and was going to be out for some time. So we called Trent up quite quickly, right? And Trent ain't had long enough of being coached in that right back position. Remember, he brought up a midfielder. He got brought up a midfielder and he's asked to learn the role of right back to get into Jurgen Klopp's first squad, to get in the Jurgen Klopp's first team. Klein got injured, so he had to come in a little earlier than planned. So he lost out on a bit of coaching. Then he came in. Obviously, we know what happened against Marcus Rashford and Man United. But then after that, he settled down. Then we started to see how good Trent was on the ball. And we could understand why Jurgen Klopp desperately wanted Trent in his first team. Because we saw how good Trent was on the ball. His passing was excellent. You know, he's very creative. He's got a good range of passes. He's very good on his left foot. I don't think Trent gets enough credit for that. Trent is very, very good on his left foot. And he's decent. That is what Klopp saw. I have to have that in my team. But he's not got that positional awareness that where he can play in midfield. It's as simple as that. So they made him a right back. So he came into Liverpool side, settled down, you saw the attacking play, everyone's happy, but the defensive play was always an issue. It was always an issue, and it always has been an issue. And as I keep saying, I've said this all season, and I will keep saying this all season. Trent has never improved defensively since the day he joined Liverpool's first team. And the reason is because he's just more exposed now. So back then when he broke in, especially when we got our team together, especially when it was Alisson in goal, you know, a proper Matip, a proper Van Dijk, a Robbo, and then that midfield of Hendo and Fabinho and Gini Wijnaldum in front of him. Trent was very, very well protected. And he is allowed to then go and do what he wants to do. He's forward running and he's forward attacking. You know, getting on the ball and creating. That's why he gets so many assists. Because he's allowed to create. You know, Klopp's been asked this many times and he keeps coming back to the same answer. I'm not worried about Trent's defending because we know he's got defensive issues, but he's not there to be a defensive right back. He's there to be a creator. He's there to create the goals, create the chances. He's not actually there to defend. That's why he's never been dropped out of the team. That's why there's never been an issue with Klopp and his coaching staff of coaching Trent how to defend at right back. Right? And right now we got an issue because every team we play penetrates our right back. Oh, that didn't sound right. Pause. Penetrates the right-hand side of the pitch, yeah? All the time. Because Trent's always got a mistake in him. He's a weakness in a defensive unit. When he hasn't got that midfield in front of him that can protect him and allow him to get forward. It's like everyone's saying this season, Trent don't get nowhere near as forward as he used to. Why doesn't Trent get as forward as he used to? Yeah, I know, Pat-Man. Yeah. Why doesn't Trent get forward as he used to? Why? What's happening this season? It's because he's not. It's because he's not got no cover. You know, the midfield are not doing their job, so they're not protecting Trent. So Trent actually can't get forward like he used to. So he has to defend more. And now we're seeing Trent defend more. You're seeing the issues with Trent defensively. Yeah, big pause, Bajan, big pause. And we're seeing the way Trent defensively works now. And there's an issue. As I said, he's going to be 25 in October. 25. Someone needs to get hold of Trent and start coaching him. Someone has to get hold of him and start coaching him defensively. Because, yes, we know what you can do going forward. But if you go to play right back, he has got to start being defensively better, defensively stronger in situations. Yes, he can defend a bit. One-on-one defending is quite good at. You go on the stats and all that. But he's so lackadaisical sometimes. And, he has that brain fart. Every match he has a brain fart. You're guaranteed it. Every match you have a brain fart where he's out of position. He doesn't know how to pick up defensive positions when he's not on the ball. So off the ball in space, Trent doesn't really know how to pick up defensive positions because it's not natural to his game and he's never been coached it. His spatial awareness as a defender is not very good because he's never been coached it. Remember, Klopp wanted him in the team. He was in the youth setup. He only got a little bit of time in the youth setup coaching up right back before Klein got his injury and we had to bring him into the first team. And since then, it's been like, oh, he does this going forward. He's well protected. It looks like he's had zero coaching. And that's my worry with Trent. And I don't know what we do with Trent right now. We don't. Oh, don't worry, Adrian. I'm getting to that in a minute. Don't worry. That man right there, that is in my crosshairs. Don't worry about that. I just don't know what we do with Trent. And the reason I'm starting with Trent, guys, and not Henderson, not Fabinho, not Salah, and all that, is because Trent's only 24. The others are coming to the end of their career. Yeah? The others are coming to the end of their career. Trent is only 24 years of age, and that's why I'm starting with him the most. I don't know what we do with him next season. I seriously don't. Because if he's right back next season, he's going to get the same treatment he's got this season. Unless Liverpool buy a better midfield that protect him to allow him to go forward more. And we just try and go back to that way of playing. So we're not really coaching Trent to be defensively better and have better spatial awareness defensively. Because that's real Trent's problem. Trent's spatial awareness defensively is just awful. He literally doesn't know where to stand. Trent don't know where to stand defensively. It's never been coached to him. So he's just standing on grass like, okay, I'll stand here. It's all right, I've got Virgil there. Virgil will header it out. That's what it always seems like. Always. He needs some, and oh my God, his arrogance right now is. So I heard discussions. Big up Grizz, by the way. I was watching Grizz's show last night. Big up Cav, our right hand man, was on there last night. Big up the Cav, and they were talking about Trent on there last night, and what do we do with him? And like we are all worried. Like I'm not sure what someone just needs to coach him because you go into next season. Next season's going to be the same issue. Everyone's going to attack our right hand side. Everyone knows there's a flaw there now. Don't take a rocket scientist. If you're a coach and you got a quick left winger, just go right. Make sure we we get a lot of bodies out on that left hand side, on Trent's right hand side, and just make sure we get our quick left winger always one-on-one with Trent. Always getting one-on-one with Trent. Get Trent isolated. And he's always going to be in trouble. And that's the issue. That's the issue I have right now with Trent. I just don't know what we do with him because it is a problem. We can't sit here and pretend it ain't a problem because there is a serious issue right now. I mean, it's his arrogance as well. He's strutting around the pitch like he owns the place. I don't know if he just needs to be dropped. I don't know if he just needs to be dropped for a while. Trent might just need to be dropped. Trent might be looking at it and go, I'll play every week. It don't matter. It doesn't matter because I'm going to play every week, yeah? If my defensive work ain't that great at the moment, it don't matter because I'm going to play next week. Maybe he just needs to be dropped. Maybe we just need to get someone in. Maybe Ramsey was meant to be the thing, but Ramsey's an 18-year-old kid. You can't then go to Ramsey, right, you're going to take Trent's position for a few weeks. He's 18. Now, it's a lot of pressure on him. He's coming in as Trent's replacement, an 18-year-old. That's not fair to him. We need a more established right back. We need an established right back. A right back that's 26, 27. To come into this team and just establish himself as a solid right back. That Trent can be dropped for. Just there's issues with Trent. Obviously, look, the other thing I know people will say as well, which they're right about as well, on the left-hand side of Liverpool's defence, it was always a lot stronger because you had Virgil and Robbo. So Robbo, the left back, and Virgil next to him is a more solid defensive unit than a Gomez, Matip, and a Trent. There's no doubt about that. And also on the left-hand side, you did have Mane and you had Wijnaldum sort of taking that left-hand side midfield area. And they were defensively better than Salah, Hendo and Trent on Liverpool's right-hand side. So I agree with what everyone's saying now. But I'm not talking about Trent as an 18 or 19-year-old anymore. This is the problem. And everyone's saying that. I agree. But Trent is not 19 no more. He's 24. He's going to be 25 this year. We can't keep protecting him. He's got to learn. And he has to get better. He needs to get better. I mean, it's just so poor at the moment. Guys in the chat, don't worry. I'm getting to every other player. Don't worry. Fabinho, he's going to get it. Don't worry, guys. I ain't ignoring him. I'm just starting with Trent. I just feel like playing 4-3-3 don't suit Trent either. I'm going to say this right now as well. A lot of the right backs, especially the English right backs that play in a 4-4-2, all have defensive-minded issues. Even Reece James, when he plays in a back four, I always feel Reece James ain't the same fullback when he plays in a back three. I always think Reece James looks a better right wing back than he does a right back in a four. I think all these English right backs have got defensive issues. I really do. Reece James is obviously better at Trent at defending, but he still has defensive issues when he plays in a 4-4-2. And, I think all of them are quite similar like that. I think Trent would be better in maybe a 3, where he has a little bit more protection. Like he's got the third centre-back there. That third centre-back would be more in the defensive position where Trent would be if he was playing a 4-4-2. He could cover a bit more ground, allowing Trent maybe to get forward a bit more. But the problem is we've got a manager who's never going to play 3 at the back. He never plays 3 at the back. Klopp is never going to play 3 at the back, ever. And that's an issue as well. So Trent's, I think, is a bit stuck. I do think playing 4-4-3 in a back four in the way Trent wants to play doesn't suit him. I think Trent would be better as a wing back, a bit like Reece James is for Chelsea when they play in a 3. Reece James always looks better as a wing back than he does a fullback, in my opinion. Even when we play for England, when we play 4-4-2, and sometimes Reece James is a right back, gives away penalties, makes mistakes. I think all the English fullbacks have got a defensive flaw in their game. All of them. But a lot of them, it's not highlighted so much because I do think there is a massive agenda against Trent. Now, I've seen Trent play games where he's done nothing wrong and he still gets called out. I mean, it's mad. I watched Reece James the other week. I think, was it the Chelsea-West Ham game? Chelsea would have won that game if Reece James was doing his job at the back post. Reece James weren't defending properly at the back post and West Ham equalised. No one said anything. No one. Was never brought up. So there is that as well. But I can't always use the agenda. I can't. Because Trent is going to be 25 this year and needs to defensively work his game out. Or we need to work a way out that benefits Trent's game more. Benefits Trent's game more. If we go 3 at the back, it will benefit Trent's game a bit more. Because Trent as a wing back would be a far better player than he is as a fullback. It'll help him out. Having that third centre back there. I bet Reece James, if you ask Reece James, I bet he prefers playing as a wing back than a right back. Having 3 centre backs behind him. So that third centre back, is mopping up a little bit more behind him, and you've still got two centre backs there. And then Reece James can do what he's better at, going forward. That's the stronger part of his game. I bet he prefers it. That's all I'm going to say on Trent. When I open up a phone line, so you guys can have your say on it as well. Henderson. Right, I've been saying this about Hendo for a while. I think Hendo gets away with so much criticism. I think Hendo gets away with a lot. I don't think Hendo gets criticised enough. All the games so far for Liverpool, I see all the pundits, everyone in the media, listening to the radio, all the ex-players, they go at everyone apart from Hendo. Literally everyone. Hendo never, ever gets any blame attached to him. That Henderson performance on Saturday night was disgustingly bad. Like, disgustingly bad. Not one mention about Henderson's performance. Not one mention of Hendo's performance on Saturday night. Not one. It was terrible. And I love Hendo. I got his book, for goodness sake. I love the man. I respect him. I really do. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you are. There always comes to an end. He's been at the club for 11 years. He has played for Liverpool for 11 years, and he's been Jurgen. Think about this as well, guys. Jordan Henderson has been Jurgen Klopp's main midfielder for the past 7 years. He's been the one he calls upon, he looks upon. He's basically like his lieutenant on the pitch. We've got to move on from that. I don't care who you are. You could be a club legend and all that, but eventually you do have to move on. Real Madrid don't keep, all their legends all the time, like till the end of time. They move them on. Legends move on. They get left out of the team because they get to an age where they can't do what they used to do. And Real Madrid like, right, you can go. You get some freaks, like Modric at 37. Doesn't play like anywhere near a 37-year-old. He plays like he's 30. It's mad. You've got freaks out there like Modric. Let's not compare. Nowhere near. Henderson's going to be 33 in June. 33. And I keep saying, I love the guy, respect him dearly, and thank you for everything you've done for this football club. But his time's up, man. It's time's up. I don't know what Henderson can give us right now. See, Henderson in Jurgen Klopp's team, in his midfield, was all about energy, pressing, running around basically, defending for Trent, breaking up play. That's what Henderson was good at under Jurgen Klopp for all these years. But he can't do that anymore. And if he can't do that anymore, what else can he do? Not a lot. He's not as versatile as James Milner. So James Milner can play fullback and he can play across the midfield three. Henderson's really got one position. And he can't even do that anymore. And as I keep saying, this is no disrespect to Hendo. I love the guy. But he's going to have good games here and there. I've said it already this season. The other week, I thought he had a good game. He's going to have good games here and there, yeah? Everyone does, even when they're in bad form. They all have good games here and there. But the problem is he's relied on too much. And Henderson shouldn't be playing the amount of football he does. Nowhere near. I know everyone keeps saying next season, keep Hendo. He can take the James Milner role. He's not versatile like James Milner is. And also, with James Milner's probably a better footballer than Henderson. I'd actually say James Milner is a better footballer than Henderson. So, everyone's saying Hendo can do the Milner role next season. If Milner's a better player and Milner's more versatile. So, really, you've got a 33-year-old geezer who's your club captain, has played for Jurgen Klopp for 7 years solid, been at Liverpool for 11 years. if you say it out loud like that, it's madness to keep him. It's madness to keep him. It's absolutely madness to keep him. What the fuck is the James Milner role? I said it. It's my accent. That's why. It's my accent. Yeah, it's my accent. It's my accent. Same as basketball players. Some players really heavily on their athleticism. If you don't have a skill, then you want to it falls off bad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my South London accent. I do apologise. I don't say all the letters in a word properly. Don't start me with water. Yeah, so Hendo's dead. We've got so many. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to put the link in the chat for people to come on and have their say. So the link is in the chat. If you want to come on and have your say, come on and have your say, guys. I'll pin it in the chat. So the link is pinned in the chat, guys. Come in and have your say, guys. Come in and have your say, whatever you want to talk about. Any of the stuff I've spoke about so far about Trent, Hendo, come in and just have your say, guys. When you come in, though, just make sure you're obviously polite. If you are new, just put your camera on so I can see you. And if you don't want to put your camera on when you come on, you can turn that off. I understand. But yeah, come in, guys. Link is in the chat. Come and have your say. Everyone's welcome. Come and have your say, guys. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just Hendo dead. Trent, I'm worried about massively. And then Fabinho. I mean, we've got to talk about Fabinho as well. Fabinho's just absolutely rinsed. He's done. And I've been saying this for a while. I've been saying this for how long? Everyone in the chat knows how long I've been saying about Fabinho now. It's got to be close to a year I've been saying about Fabinho's being finished. Fabinho's just done, man. And all this talk about we've got to get legs around Fabinho. Fabinho's a better player when you get legs around him. It's utter nonsense, man. What that is you've got such an affinity with Fabinho that you love him as a football player that you don't want to let him go. So you make up stuff to make it sound better. Like, I'll get pace around him, get legs around him, and he'll be a better player. And this sort of stuff. It's just like, it's a nonsense. It's just because you like the player, and I get it, you like the geezer, but no, Fabinho's done. Fabinho at this level he's done. I mean, and people say keep him as a squad player. Keep him as a squad player. He came on as a squad player the other day. Could have got sent off in 10 minutes. The man's washed. Big up Ride Shotgun. Big up to you with a super chat. Jordan Brian Henderson doesn't tackle at all. He should play less than Gomez. Big up, man. Big up. I think I saw South American Brazilian footballers do have a tendency to hit the wall hard. Yeah, they definitely do, man. They definitely do. Definitely do. I agree. And that's why you got to let them go, man. That's why you can't keep keeping these players in the team for no reason. He just ran around fanning versus bad. It's because he can't tackle. Because he can't tackle, man. He just can't tackle. I think I saw someone in the chat. Hang on 1 second. I know I've got Jenny waiting. We'll get Jenny on in a second. View from the stands. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well. I thought I saw you in the chat there. Imagine if Van Dijk played a season at right centre back alongside Trent every game, you'd see an improvement. Look at Wan-Bissaka at Man United, where there's Varane next to him. That's a good point as well. That's a good point. That's like the point I was making with Van Dijk being next to Robbo. That's like the point I was saying about Van Dijk being next to Robbo. Probably true there. Was Fabinho okay last season? No, I said he was declining last season. Everyone shouted at me. I was saying it last season. I think Ed would remember the most, but I was saying it last season as well. And everyone's going, no, he's fine. I think I've got Jenny waiting. We'll get Jenny on in 1 second. Yes, I'd rather keep Stefan Besic as a squad player than Fabinho. Declining like this at the age of 30 is wild. Fernandinho left at 37 and Casemiro at 31 and looks nowhere near finished. Yeah, I know. It's mad. It just hits people harder. So what I'm going to do, I've got a few people to come on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start with Jenny, work our way down. Got Recency Bias Radio waiting, John and Jersey Boy. So what we do, we'll get Jenny on first, have her say, answer her question. I'll get Jenny off and then we'll work down the list, boys. So make sure I'll be to you in a sec. Right, we're going to get Jenny on first. Right, guys, remember Jenny. So,
Hi.
How you doing, Jenny?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good. What do you want to say today?
How many players are we going to be getting in the summer?
How many players we're going to be getting in summer?
Yeah.
Jenny, personally, from my point of view,
Yeah.
I think we will buy because we've got no choice.
Yes.
Not because we have. It's just because we've got no choice. So I think Liverpool will get 2 midfielders or 3 midfielders and 1 centre back. But
Right.
they might not be the players everyone wants, and
Okay.
that's what's going to happen. You know, I don't think we'll spend the money everyone thinks we might spend. We might spend like 80 million and get 3 midfielders, but they're not going to be players everyone wants. I think people go look at it and go, oh, right, we're going to get this. And then you go get Mason Mount. And I can imagine Liverpool Twitter tomorrow when Fabrizio Romano says Liverpool very close to buying Mason Mount. He's driving up to Liverpool as we speak to do his medical. Liverpool Twitter's going to go mad. But I think that's what's going to happen, Jenny. I literally think these are the kind of players we're going to get. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Okay.
But yeah, go on, Jen. Any other question?
No.
No? You usually got loads of questions.
I am very angry about the government argument with.
Oh, you're angry about it?
Argument, gaming.
You're fuming after the Real Madrid game.
Yeah.
Don't blame you.
Oh.
Don't blame you.
Yeah.
I've been angry too, Jen. It's been awful.
We will get it in the cup goal or not.
Are we going to make top 4?
Yeah.
That's why the Palace game was so important, Jenny. If we beat Crystal Palace, I think we would have got. I literally think if we beat Crystal Palace, that would have been 3 wins in a row. They would have got over their Real Madrid stump. Then playing Wolves on Wednesday and beating them, you go 1 point behind Spurs, I believe. I would have made us favourites for top 4. I would. Now, I'm not sure. They messed up big time. Messed up big time against Crystal Palace. No doubt, Jen.
When do you think we will get it? And we don't make cup goal?
Where do I think we'll finish?
Yeah.
I'd rather us finish like out of Europe completely.
Me too.
If we can't make the Champions League, I don't want to be playing that. I don't want to be playing Emmerdale Farm Cup. I don't want to be going to the. I don't want to be playing in the Conference League where we got to fly into, Albania and Uzbekistan and all them. I don't. No.
Nah.
I'm good. I'd rather not be in Europe at all, Jen, and just concentrate on the Premier League, FA Cup, and League Cup for a whole season and build our squad again. I think I'd rather that.
Yeah.
I'd rather that, and then try again the following year.
Cool.
Big up, Jenny. Jenny. All right, guys, don't forget, everyone go and subscribe to Jenny's channel at Klopp-ish. That's Klopp-ish. Go and subscribe to Jenny's YouTube channel, guys. She's a great lady. And Jenny, thank you very much for coming on as always.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. I'll see you again soon, yeah?
Thank you, Jamie.
You're very welcome. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Yeah, guys, so make sure you go and subscribe to Jenny at Kloppish, guys. She's a great person. And, she's got cerebral palsy. She sometimes finds it hard to talk, but she's so much braver now. She comes on here now. She just puts it out there. Yeah, she's a big Liverpool fan. Go and follow, guys. Go and follow. Right, let's get ready to see Bias Radio in the house. How you doing, my man?
What's going on, Jamie? Long
I'm
time
good.
no see. I've been meaning to
Yeah,
come
man.
on your channel for the longest, man. I love everything you're doing. Big
Oh,
ups to
cheers, man.
Jenny. She's more courageous than 80% of our fan base. Let's just keep it real. Huh?
She's brilliant.
Jenny could
She's
come out
brilliant.
here and keep it a bean. Everybody else scared to. But this is
Ah,
why I love your channel. This is why I love all of these Liverpool channels that have come together, come to fruition like Voltron. We need each other in these moments. You know, I was on JJ's channel the other day and I told people
yeah.
this fan base is going through the 5 stages of grief. See, me and
Yeah.
you, we have already accepted the fact that we're screwed. We have lived through the depression, the anger. We're at acceptance. But now you're
Yeah.
finally starting to see these top red channels. They used to be all about FSG can do no wrong. They used to defend Hendo. They did the documentary saying he was never finished.
Oh,
Well, after the Crystal Palace game, it's safe to say they know he's finished. So that's the ironic part of all of this. Now, all of a sudden, they want to ask questions. Now, all of a sudden, it's not about just trusting whatever Klopp says. Now, people are willing to actually call things down the middle, unbiased, and not think about their pockets. And that's all we needed as a fan base. Now, what I wanted to throw out to you, Jamie, is that a
go
lot of
for it.
people might not know this. But on the the Liverpool channel, did you know the Crystal Palace highlights that they showed? Hendo's PR team is so strong that they removed the block goal that he did of Trent's free kick.
Did they?
They removed it. It doesn't exist. It got Thanos snapped to the Shadow Realm. Like, I might as well reenact what they did. They snapped it to the Shadow Realm, Jamie. It's astonishing. They are hiding the tapes. This is like when Jordan came back from retirement with the 44 on his back and got dog walked by the Orlando Magic. They want to act as if we didn't see what we saw, but we
Nah,
did
it's
see
mad.
it. We lost
That's
2-5 to Real Madrid, one of the most embarrassing fixtures in my life as an American Liverpool supporter. And I know people are going to assume, oh, he's from America. He wants FSG in. Wrong. Hey, I want them out as much as the rest of y'all. They need to be sent to the Shadow Realm because they have allowed this club to rot. You let Genie Wijnaldum walk, but when it comes to Hendo, oh, participation trophy. That man is bagging almost 200 grand per week for these performances. Everyone wants to talk about Salah's money per week. Salah's still giving us GA. What is Hendo giving us except passion? What is he giving us?
No, man, you're right. Hendo, look, I've been saying it for a while. Look, I've got Hendo's book. I love Hendo. He's my captain, but time is time, you know. As I said, he's been Jurgen Klopp's main midfielder for 7 years. That's a lot of punishment on Hendo's body. He's going to be 33. If he can't do the things that he was good at, you know, the pressing, the running, the defending, the like getting stuck in, it was great for us. I'm not going to ever forget that what he
Absolutely.
did.
And we
But
do
if he can't,
appreciate his service for the club. Let me state that. I don't
exactly,
want to seem ungrateful.
exactly. But if he can't do that no more, what can he do? And that's the issue.
And this is why Modric at
That's the issue.
37, almost 38, is still a world-class player because he's
Yeah,
always had world-class tech, whereas
yeah.
Hendo has always been pace and power. Once his athleticism goes away, now all he has is the tech he never focused on in his athletic prime. See, you get to see who really took care of their football brain when they get older, because then you get to see who is still at these big clubs and who was forced to be at these smaller clubs.
Yeah. I've got to say one thing because this Imran just said that this guy's got the Grand Theft Auto radio voice. You have.
Grand Theft
Oh,
Auto.
when you were talking, I was thinking, where have I heard your voice before? I know you've been on, but it was
Definitely,
like
I love the radio.
you have got a great narration voice. I ain't gonna lie. I might have to get you to do
Thank
some
y'all
stuff
so
for
much.
me.
You know I'm gonna come back and forth over and over again. But I don't want my time to be too long, but I just wanted to throw it out there. You know, everyone's mad at Trent, but let's just keep it real in these streets. I've never seen anyone. Look, a lot of us have been involved in some iffy moments in life. Now, I'm not going to speak on what or not, but if something happens and you hear a loud noise, we're taught to stop, drop, and roll. Hendo decided to jump, then duck, then stop. Like, bro, if you're trying to avoid some shrapnel, if you're trying to avoid something, you're gonna get hit every time. Hendo must not play Call of Duty. He must not play on tactical mode. because he don't know how to click that right analog stick and just drop shot. He don't know what he doing. And my problem
No.
is, Hendo, you talk with Trent. The other day, it was funny. I was actually watching the 2019-2020 goals of our entire title-winning season. And there were so many free kick moments where Hendo used to stand with Salah and with Trent at the free kick, and he would be one of the decoys. Now he's part of the wall. So that little minor change made me go, Hendo's going rogue here. Hendo shouldn't be over there. So at the end of the day, I just find it weird that now when it's time to hold Hendo accountable, all these channels that loved Hendo more than anyone else at the club, now they're willing to start questioning FSG. To protect Hendo, they're willing to finally throw FSG under the bus. That's what I'm noticing.
No, I agree. It's like, let me just get this on the screen quickly. So this obviously was one of the things, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but this has been up on Twitter. The Henderson pass, watch Elliot. It just goes backwards. And that's what people were saying. It's that with Hendo at the moment that annoys people. Look, Elliot's gone. Elliot wants it to progress forward, and Salah's in front of him, and then he just gets it here, slows it down, and goes backwards again.
It's just a poor sequence of football.
It is, and that is what Hendo used to be able to snap off them one-touch passes, and unfortunately, he can't do it no more. It's just.
Like it happens to the best of them, Jamie.
Yeah,
it happens to the best of them.
It's like Jack says, Hendo's moving like he's playing Minecraft. And big up, Jack.
Hendo giving me them Derrick Rose vibes, man. For all the people from America, Derrick Rose had all this promise. He had all these leg injuries, and he was a shell of himself. Hendo, to me, he looking a little Derrick Rosey. And at the end of the day, everyone says, oh, Hendo can be in this Milner role moving forward. I'm okay with letting Milner go, but I want to keep Hendo. And it's like you were saying earlier, Jamie, and I want to bring it back to your great talking point. If Hendo was taking on 200,000 bags a week, that is too high of a payroll price for a bench player. Sorry, end of discussion. Under FSG, that is unacceptable. And see, this is the trap a lot of these top Reds walk themselves into. You defended FSG for the longest in their penny pinching, their sell to buy philosophy, but now you're trying to create the argument that Hendo can be the new Milner. Well, Milner took a pay cut just to be here another season this time. Is Hendo going to take a pay cut, or is Hendo's ego too big to take one? Because he's not as old as Milner is. So I don't believe Hendo will ever do that to look out for our club. And that's another problem here, because we can't sell him because he's not going to want to get off those wages. We can't release him because that's a PR nightmare because he's our captain. But this brings me to Erik ten Hag. And this is another point I would love to present to you. What better way of showcasing the karma that we are currently in and to see our real rivals, Manchester United, really operating at the peak of their powers? What did it take for them to operate at the peak of their powers? No sentimentality. Letting Cristiano Ronaldo walk. Letting him know you are past it. We cannot coddle you in your career legacy. We have to look out for our own careers because we ain't achieved what you were able to achieve. This is the new time to turn the new page, Ronaldo. Ronaldo's in Saudi Arabia right now getting it out of the mud. Congrats to him. He getting hat tricks playing against farmers, but no one cares. And at the end of the day, Hendo would be getting 9 out of 10s if he was in Saudi Arabia, but he's in the Prem right now. And there is no better compare and contrast than that. If Klopp is as heartless as Erik ten Hag, now to be fair to Klopp, he didn't get backed with $200 million out the gate like Erik ten Hag did. So Klopp had a whole different kettle of fish to deal with too. I also want to present that logic to the argument. But with that said, sometimes, Klopp, you are too nice to players that we all know is over the hill. And if we're not at training with these players, and you are, and you can't see it, but we only see them on match day and we can tell they're over the hill, you are choosing to look the other way. And that's problematic in its own right, because you can't act stupid now because you went out of your way to be stupid then.
No, it's great points you make. Like everyone in the comments is just saying great points you're making. It's true. I don't know what you do. As you say, it's a PR nightmare if Liverpool just let Hendo go because, where's it? What you got to do? Letting him go now? You're not going to make money on him. Where's he going to go? Look, Hendo don't want to leave Liverpool. Why would Hendo want to leave Liverpool? He's the captain. Klopp loves him. He probably plays when he's fit, plays when he's ready. why would he want to leave? And now Liverpool are stuck in a position where it would be a PR nightmare to let Hendo go, especially if Milner leaves in the same year as well. So if they leave on the same year, you know, Liverpool then got to find players that also take up the Henderson and Milner role for the squad rotation. You know, the rota, you know, they have to be homegrown. And that's 2 homegrown players gone. So Liverpool then have to spend more money on homegrown players that cost a fortune.
And that's why they want Mason Mount.
Yeah, and Liverpool look, I've been saying it for ages. I do think Liverpool will buy. I think Liverpool will actually have a big summer this summer because they got no choice. I've been saying it for a while. FSG are very good at getting to the top of the mountain, but they can't continue. They can't keep you there because they can't sustain it. Liverpool will have a good summer, and then we'll all get like. Some people might be happy with the players they buy. Some people might not be. Personally, I've come to the thing where I don't give a shit anymore, to be honest. I'm just like, just get legs in. If Klopp just wants legs, just get legs in. You know what I mean? At that moment, everyone's on sick pay. You know, everyone's disabled in this midfield. Everyone's like, it's just weak at the moment. And if Klopp wants mobility and legs, Mason Mount actually is a very decent player for this Liverpool team, if that's what Klopp wants, because he's reliable, he's fit. He'd actually work in a Klopp midfield, you know, but it's not going to be the signing that the fan base wants. It's not that mega signing.
It's not the sexy signing at all.
No,
it's not the supermodel on the cover of Playboy.
And that's a worry going out there with a lot of Liverpool fans. I think a lot of Liverpool fans do believe we will have a big summer, but it's just not going to be the players everyone wants, and that's going to anger a lot of people. And I think Milner will probably leave, but Hendo will stay. If Hendo leaves and Milner leaves in one summer, buying 2 homegrown players to put them, it's going to cost so much money as well because of the tax, buying homegrown players.
Yeah, it's make or break for FSG, Jamie. Like,
Yeah,
honestly, for a Game of Thrones reference, I feel like FSG, they can't hold the door. Hold the door. Hold door. Hold door. Hold door. Hold door. Now we're just caught up in the hold door. We're caught up in it, coach. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't hold the door. You know? We can't hold the door. Man. Yeah, it's embarrassing. And now we have let in Manchester United, Arsenal. Now they're the red teams that's kicking on. Now we're the red laughing stock. Chelsea spent $600 million. They're worse off than us. They're the only reason I'm not more depressed over all of this. I look at them and go, wow, it can get worse. And because I brought up Chelsea, I actually want to throw out something to you. I really do believe Gallagher is the better fit for us than Mount. Gallagher will run for 90 minutes at 18, 20 km. And to me, he is the guy that Klopp could get more out of long term. I think Mount may have been rinsed a little bit more than Gallagher because Gallagher had time at Crystal Palace and all that stuff.
Any English midfielders.
Wait, go ahead. What you say?
Go on, Paul.
You talking to me?
Yeah, Paul, go on.
Yeah.
What you say, mate?
I don't want any English midfielders coming to our club. Sorry. They're technically deficient. They have no spatial awareness, and they have no press resistance. That is my point of view. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a very good point. The only reason why I would want an English midfielder to come in is because we have to let some go, and I don't see us really bringing in an English right back. It doesn't feel like we'll bring in an English left back, and we're not going to get an English attacker because it's really hard to get a great English attacker.
You can promote someone from the youth team in that position, or keep Curtis Jones. I know a lot of people don't like that name being mentioned, but I would.
Curtis needs to go too. The sentimentality with him.
Curtis has never been given a chance. I think Klopp has been trying to turn him into a player he's not. He's a player that has a. If given a chance to express himself, he can dribble, he can take players on, and he has press resistance.
But he's rarely healthy. You know, we play him more on the left wing than center mid.
Yeah.
Apparently, Curtis Jones is suffering from shin splints or something. I heard at the moment. I'm not. That's why he keeps getting these little injuries because of shin splints or something. So
you can't.
Also, another point I'd like to make, if I can make it. Yeah, I'm thinking about. I'm already thinking about life after Klopp. Sorry to say that, but I am.
Go for it. Go
on. And there's an ideal replacement which some people might have heard of and some haven't. That is Marcelo Gallardo.
Oh, okay.
He's the most successful coach that River Plate have ever had. He won 2 Copa Libertadores with River Plate, and he has a skill set which Klopp doesn't have, which is tactical flexibility and formation flexibility.
No,
And
great.
he also has a plan B and a plan C, which Klopp doesn't have.
I agree with you on that. Klopp, you need to do better.
Yeah,
he does, and he's tactically inept as well. And that game against Real Madrid illustrated that perfectly.
well,
When he was 2-0 up, he should have consolidated. He should have, rather than try and go gun ho for the 3rd goal.
If you ask me, that Madrid game was oddly reminiscent of our Europa League final versus Sevilla. We got a lead, did not know how to control the game and
control the game. Yes,
blew
should
it.
have brought some control to the game.
that's good. Klopp's never done that though, has he? He's never had a defensive way of playing. Like I don't think he's ever
our
had
Premier
that.
League title-winning season, that was the one time when we got a lead, we always kept it. We calmed it down. We stopped sprinting forward. We had Gini Wijnaldum who kept control of possession, and that's when we played our smartest football. Now, it was boring to some compared to our high-octane heavy metal, but it got the job done. And I was led to believe that was because of Pep Linder's influence. Well, how come we don't do that no more with Pep Linders? It's confusing.
I've had enough of hearing that name.
Oh man,
I've had enough of hearing that guy's name. It's distressing me every time I hear that guy's name.
What Pep?
Yeah, I've had enough of that. I don't want to hear that guy's name again, please.
I would love someone to do an interview with him and ask him, do you regret making that book? Do you regret it? Be honest with yourselves.
I mean,
Volume 2 is coming out next season, ain't it? So
yeah,
get ready for that.
God, please.
I think they've already said that. I think there is a follow-up coming.
Yeah. I mean, in this period, we need to do what United did. We need to go and what Ten Hag did. Make yourself hard to beat, and that starts from the back. If you're going to put Knight, you could do a low block like everyone else does to this. It may be a thing that we don't want to do, but I think we have to make ourselves hard to beat in this period of what can I say, uncertainty.
Give Matt Phillips a chance.
I feel like fans have been asking for that for ages, though. I feel like we've been going play 3 at the back for months now, but play more central defenders, play Nat Phillips, but he never will do it. He just doesn't trust. He's got his favourites that are finished. He just will keep playing them again, and
I think he said he doesn't like playing back 3. He hates playing the back 3. So, but I look at our team and think we're perfect for it.
Absolutely.
I actually look at our team and I think we're perfect for it. We've got 3 centre backs there who could play. You got Trent, who I think would benefit playing wing back instead of full back.
Yes.
I think Robbo could play wing back. Then you can play your 3. You can play 3-4-3 like and Conte tries to do with Tottenham. And I think Liverpool will be better a counter-attacking team than Spurs would be in a 3-4-3 because Trent would be excellent on the counter-attack, as would Robbo. Darwin would suit counter-attacking football to a T. So does Salah. Look, Salah suits counter-attacking football. The problem with Mo, because we're a more possession-based football team now, it doesn't suit Mo's game. Mo likes the ball to come to him straight away. He doesn't like always pass, and he's stuck because he's got 4 people around him. That's not Mo's game.
You're right, because whenever we see Mo running at a defender with a ball that's put in behind, he usually he spun Cancelo this season. We hardly do that for him. He has to always beat players all the time. He's never really been good at that. I don't know why we don't play to that style. That would suit him as well more. He kind of he and Darwin could do similar things, but it feels like we've never played that way for him.
Yeah, I mean, and my thing on the Real Madrid game, I'll go back to that Real Madrid game. I always said in a 2-legged tie, you can't lose a tie in the first leg. You can lose the game, but don't lose the tie. And I would have taken a 3-2 loss. Take a 3-2 loss and a 1-goal deficit against Madrid. It's not the worst thing in the world. It can be overturned. But losing 5-2 and not changing tactically in that game to just take the loss, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a 2-legged game. Take the loss. But to take 2 of our most our better forwards off that are quick and can play counter-attacking football, to put 2 slower forwards on who can't play counter-attacking football, just made 0 sense in that game tactically. And that's why I did blame Klopp for that loss and the players, because the players do get away with it a lot. players have got a lot to blame as well. But it's things like that where I question. Like, I don't think Klopp's tactically a great manager. He's a tremendous man manager. There's all different kinds of coaches and managers. There's all different kinds of coaches and managers. You look at, I'd say Mourinho is a fantastic tactical manager, but he's not a great man manager. You probably want to beat him up after 2 seasons. That's usually, and it's usually the case. It's usually the case of all the players he manages. So, but tactically, I don't think we would have lost 5-2 if Mourinho was in charge. I think he would have seen the game slipping away, and he would have taken the striker off. He would have put an extra midfielder on. He would have tightened it up. That sort of stuff. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, especially in a 2-legged tie. Never lose the tie in the first leg, and that's what we did. And that's on Jurgen and the boys. It can't always be the owner's fault. This is where I get at. The owners are to blame, but as soon as Liverpool lose a game, you just see on social media, "Oh, FSG have ruined us. This is what FSG have done." And it's like, they didn't pick the team. They didn't pick the 11. They didn't pick the tactics. I said to someone on Twitter the other day, I said, like, you do know Jurgen Klopp doesn't have to pick Henderson and Milner, yeah? Oh. He don't have to pick them.
I'm going to make a confession. Yeah. I'm going to go make it. I've never been a Henderson fan. I was against his signing for us in the first place when he came in under Douglas. I was never a fan. Never a big fan. So to me, I'm not bothered if he leaves, to be honest with you.
No, I get that from a lot of the fan base. Look, you look at what Henderson is. Henderson is just your old school British workhorse midfielder. Yeah. That's what he is. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. But where we need to be right now, that was fine a few years ago in the way our team worked. But he can't do that right now. So if he can't do that right now, what's the point of keeping someone? Do you know what I mean? Well, it's like keeping your woman, yeah? Say your woman just loves Instagram, yeah? Right? And she loves Instagram more than you, right? And she's pictures, talking to all the men on Instagram, yeah? You keep her around, that's down on you, man. That's not her. That's down on you. And that's what Endo is. Endo is a Instagram.
It's like a relationship taking too long. Then.
That's what it is, yeah.
It's like a relationship you've prolonged for too long.
Yeah.
You know what they're calling Milner and Henderson now, right? They're calling them the Brexit brothers of destruction. I'm not making this up. That's what they're calling them now. They're Undertaker and Kane because they're putting us all to rest in peace. It's sad what's going on here, Coach. But I really do believe we have to recycle this entire midfield. And because FSG, for whatever reason, didn't want to get us one at a time, now we got to do major surgery all at once. So now you got to hope all these new entities, these new personalities all settle in at the same time in a foreign environment. You're asking for too many things to go well at once. Next season is going to be probably a little bit better than this one, just because this one is probably worst case scenario, but it's still probably going to be just as rocky because we didn't have a plan.
Yeah, look, I hear your recency, but sometimes like this FSG stuff, it's like Klopp hang on to these midfielders too long as well. Like he could have let them go slowly, and then we could have got some money. And I don't buy the FSG just held up all the money. I feel like Klopp has a big say in this. Like he kept all these midfielders, and he believed in too many of them. Like he should have filtered some of these out a long time ago.
I agree,
sentiment.
I agree with that.
I
totally agree.
But I also believe that this Henderson factor of him being the agent to bring in Bellingham, I think this has heavily influenced Klopp in wanting to give Hendo that big contract, believing he's the key to getting Bellingham over the line.
We're not going to get Bellingham. We're not going to get Bellingham. We ain't getting him.
I don't believe we'll get him either, but I think the moment when fans will fully turn on Hendo is when they realize we can't get Bellingham. I think they're holding on to hope that we need Hendo to get Bellingham. The minute we don't get Bellingham, everyone will turn on Hendo. They'll turn on a lot of people.
Yeah. I think we should accept that now and just move on and look for alternative targets that could be just as good as Bellingham, but cheaper.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you
need to move on.
The problem with Liverpool, if they get Bellingham, because I've seen quotes, I don't know how true they are, but I've seen quotes from Klopp saying that Klopp would love if he just got Bellingham and no one else. Now that
No way.
can't be the case
That can't
because
be.
we'll actually be worse off than we are now because we'd have less players in our midfield because half of them are leaving.
Or
So
going,
we'd actually be in a worse place. I just want to bring. I've got Jersey Boy and Mike here.
Yeah.
Bring
If you want
Jersey Boy
someone,
and Mike.
if you want someone to depart, I can depart now. If you want.
Big
That's
up, Paul. Paul, thanks
Yeah.
for coming on, man.
I'm gonna
Great
go ahead
talk.
and leave out too because I've been in here the
Yeah,
longest.
thank you.
Thank you
Big
so
up,
much for the
Recency.
opportunity,
No
Jamie.
worries.
And I just want to throw out one more thing on my way out real quick. I do not want us buying anyone from Chelsea because I want them to rot over
Yes,
there.
I agree.
If we buy one
Totally
person
agree.
from them, they'll just spend another 300 million off
Yeah,
our
that's
tip.
true.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
So I'm
That's
just
true.
I threw out the Gallagher thing just to say I don't think Mount's the solution, but I wouldn't buy
Yeah.
no one from Chelsea. But thank you so
That's
much.
true,
Big ups to the entire panel, and I hope you all
Thanks
have
for
a
inviting me,
great
Jamie.
stream.
Much appreciated, mate.
Always.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Much love. Let's just bring Jenny on because Jenny might need a quick word. Jenny,
Hi,
you want
guys.
to ask a quick question again, Jenny? What did you want to
Yeah,
say?
look, you got Hango on our backroom guy.
Would we put Hendo in the backroom staff?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
no.
The problem with Hendo is that he's going to be 33 in June. He probably feels like he's still a Premier League player and there's stuff he can still do.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I think Milner's the one I look at. If Milner wants to hang up his boots and go into coaching, I think that'd be perfect for Liverpool. I'd give Milner like the under-19 job or something like that.
Okay.
I'll do that with Hendo. The problem is, Jenny, with Hendo, because he's a bit younger,
Yeah.
he's not ready. He's not ready to give it up. So if he's not ready to give it up,
Yeah.
I think we just have to let him leave, Jenny. To be honest.
Okay. Right.
Thank you again, Jenny.
Thank you.
No worries. Enjoy the rest of your
Thank
night,
you.
Jenny.
Yeah.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.
Right, Jersey Boy, Mike, how are you guys?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, Mike. Doing good. Jersey Boy, you good? Oh, you're on mute, Jersey Boy. We can't hear you, mate. What's it? How you doing, Mike? You good, mate?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. What did you want to come on and say tonight?
I mean, first and foremost, to address the title, in terms of Trent, something that I haven't really seen anyone talk about is if you look at the last 12 months, Trent has 4 assists in all competitions, 3 in the Premier League and 1 in the Champions League. How many attacks over the last 12 months have come down the right side? How many goals have been conceded down the right side? Regardless of however good he is offensively, the risk is not outweighing the reward. The reward is not outweighing the risk. So I don't think that I think he's a world-class player who's being put in a system that no longer works. And
Exactly.
when we get to the root of the cause, you know, I see everyone's kind of, talking about players and buying players. Personally, I don't think that there is an amount of money on the face of the earth that could fix this team because I think that the system has been found out and it's been broken. I think that the 4-3-3 press doesn't work anymore. I think that he's trying to replace Firmino with Gakpo and it's just not working. I mean, he's playing Harvey Elliott on the left side. He's playing Harvey Elliott in midfield. He's playing James Milner and Jordan Henderson and Naby Keita. I'd rather see the youth players play against Crystal Palace. I'd rather see 3 18-year-olds than see Jordan Henderson, Naby Keita, and James Milner start a game in which Liverpool have to win. And I just think that it's a system issue. And Klopp is too one-dimensional in his tactics. He's too one-dimensional in his preparation. He's too one-dimensional in his philosophy. And, legit, if you look at every single game this season, we have lined up the same formation and the same tactics, and he expects a different result. And it's just not happening. It's Einstein's definition of insanity. And the only good run of form that we had was when Salah was playing down the middle for those last 2 or 3 games before the World Cup. And then the World Cup ends and we go straight back and we don't score a goal for over a month. And, again, the Real Madrid, perfect example, right? We're up 2-0. Trent is up there kicking a free kick. And then right after that free kick, Vinicius Jr. gets the very first chance that Real Madrid has in the whole game. And then from that point, the right side was just completely destroyed. And then it's 2-2 and the players are acting like it's 4-0 Real Madrid. So I think that it's more a system issue. And if Klopp can't adapt, if Klopp can't change, if Klopp is too sedentary, then, you know, we need to start thinking about moving on to another manager, because I don't think that 200 million fixes his team. I don't think that there are players to replace what we had before. I think we're just trying to relive the past, and it's like a pipe dream. And we have too much loyalty towards Klopp and Hendo and everyone else because they've given us what we've had. But everything in life is a circle, and we've kind of reached the end of the last circle, and we need to change. Otherwise, it's just going to be stagnant, if that makes sense.
No, I agree. I was saying it earlier. Like, I do think, like with Trent as well, with the system, I think when I look at all the right backs at English, I think they've all got defensive flaws in their game. I do, but they're in teams that hide that as well. I look at Reece James. I think Reece James is a great player, but he definitely looks better in a back three than he does in a four. He looks far better. He looks more comfortable. I think Trent, I always say, I look at our team, I just look at Trent and think, Trent's a win back. I think, I know people go, then his starting position is further forward than his starting position now. I get that, but it would help him in that attacking area. It would develop his game more because he has to change it up a little bit because his position has slightly moved. So probably he'd have to change his game, which he'd have to adapt. At the moment, he doesn't have to adapt or change his game because, as you say, Mike, it's the same every single week. And I just think that will help his game as well. But the problem is we know Klopp don't like three at the back. We changed it up a little bit when we did like 4-2-4, 4-3-2-1, and we played all that in October before the World Cup. And it looked like, Klopp's changed it up a little bit. We were a bit happy about it. Results weren't great all the time, but we looked a bit better. He was changing things. And the players started to adapt to it. And all of a sudden, he went straight back to 4-3-3. And it's like, it's just...
I mean, I don't think that you can blame the players as much as people are, because at the end of the day, we went 5-1 in Europe. Like we beat an undefeated Ajax away from home. Napoli came to us, the hottest team in Europe. We beat them 2-0. Like the players have the ability. It's just the system isn't working, and we're doing the same. Klopp is doing the same thing every single week, and until that changes, no amount of players or replacements. I mean, put the best defensive right back in the world. Put Nacho at the right. Like it's still going to be flawed because Klopp is going to ask too much of the players, and there's no one there to cover. And because we're not changing, we're not going to get any results, if that makes sense.
No, I agree. I agree. Jersey boy?
Can you hear me now?
Perfectly, my friend. Perfectly.
Jesus God, my microphone is having problems. I do apologise.
No, you're all right, mate. All right.
Working now.
How are you, man? Go on.
I'm doing fine. You know, after last time I came on, I got dissed by you, Jamie, for having a ginger beard, so I removed it. It is removed. That's why I got rid of my man. That's why I got rid of mine. I've got the weirdest facial hair. I've got like, my dad claims he was strawberry blonde, which is bullshit. He was ginger.
All ginger people say.
For some reason, my hair is completely fine, all normal color, black, and then when it comes to my beard, it's black, but in one specific patch, it's ginger. And so I have to, you know, I was like, I can't be. If I'm going to get this by Jamie, I'm going to get this by other people. I have to get rid of it.
There you go. You look fresh there. You look fresh. So what's your response on the Trent stuff there? What Mike was saying?
Well, I've been saying it for quite a long time actually that I believe Trent should move to midfield. I don't want him to be CDM or attacking midfielder. I just think if we played 4-4-2. 4-4-2. If you play 4-4-2 and play Trent at right mid, I think he would cook because he just has to focus on attacking. But unfortunately, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. We can play right back. And maybe when we get new players, he won't be so exposed. But I just have a feeling still at right back, if we go very good midfield, he will still walk back. There's the amount of times I've seen this man walk back. We're under attack. We're getting destroyed. The guy walks back like he doesn't give a shit. So
No, I agree.
he's listen. I love Trent. I think he's a great player, but for a while now he's been dreadful. Like against Crystal Palace, we were so lucky we didn't go 1-0 down from Trent's mistakes.
Well, it's lucky we were playing Palace. Let's put it that way.
Palace should have won 3-0.
Go on, guys.
If Zaha was playing, we would have been absolutely
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, we'd have been smashed apart. We'd have been smashed apart. Yeah, Palace should have won that game.
Jamie, nobody's mentioned our dead attack yet as well, by the way. We're doing this, we're dead.
Our attack ain't the same without a certain player that everyone calls a flop. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was going to ask you because the worst that I've seen Liverpool's attack play in the last 18 months were Chelsea 10 men for the entire second half of the opening game last year, and then Newcastle 10 men. It's like every time Liverpool have to hold the ball, if we have more than 60% possession in any game, I'm expecting that we're going to score 0 goals because
we're not a possession-based team. We can't do it.
100%. But yet, when you look at it week over week, that's what they look like they're trying to do. Every week they're trying to hold the ball up, play through the midfield, and then Jordan Henderson is just going to hoof, and James Milner is just going to hoof, and they're just going to kick the ball, and we don't have Darwin, and you've got Salah sitting on the wing, and you got Cody Gakpo playing in the middle, who's a natural left winger. It's just
mad.
It doesn't make any sense. But I do agree with Jersey Boy. I would rather see if we had a fully healthy team, I would rather Konate and Virgil in the middle. Current form, I would put Tsimikas over Robertson on the left. Maybe put Robertson left mid. I don't know. He's been kind of down in my opinion. And I would stick Joe on the at right back and put Trent in front of him because I think Joe Gomez is a better right back than a center back. I don't think that we could ever play him in the center again. But Trent is just too defensively not incapable, but he can't be bothered, if that makes sense. Because he has played well in the past, like especially when he was younger, but now he can't be bothered to do it.
I agree. Look, I'll keep the Trent thing in 1 second, what you guys are saying there, but just quickly going to the attack. When we played Palace the other day and Jota started because Darwin's shoulder's still giving a bit of problem, I was shocked that, and I don't know, I said it in my match review, Jota is a better number 9 than Gakpo, but Gakpo's a better left winger than Jota, right? It's facts. But he played Jota left wing and kept Gakpo 9. And I was like, look, I understand this experiment we're doing, right? Because I've been saying it for ages. I got knocked down for it, by the way, all the time. But I've been saying it for ages there that Jurgen Klopp sees Gakpo as a Bobby replacement-esque player, right? He just does. Because no matter who has played with Gakpo, they're all playing left wing, apart from the bloke who's a left winger. So Jota plays, he's playing left wing. Núñez plays, he's playing left wing, right? Gakpo is always playing through the middle. And if that's the case, there's no point keeping Bobby. There's just none. There's none. You might as well let Bobby just leave. Because if his idea is to make Gakpo like a false 9, then Bobby Firmino will leave. The problem is, even at 32 or whatever Bobby Firmino is, he's still a better false 9 than Gakpo is. So it's a mad experiment that I don't understand right now. I think it does get the best out of Darwin in a way, but I've been saying it for a while. Darwin, everyone looked at Darwin with his goals at Benfica and went, right, that's our number 9 sorted there. We're done. Right, that next season it's finished for everyone. And I don't think the club saw Darwin in that role. I think the club looked at Darwin, look at that pace, his athleticism, his movement. It's like a Mane-esque player. You know, that thing you don't know what he's going to do. Mane was a bit like that at times. You know, a bit chaos as well. And I think that's what Liverpool saw, where the fan base saw. Now, we saw 32 goals for Benfica last season. That's not what I don't think the club saw. And I think that's being proven right now by Gakpo being the number 9. And that's why I look at Klopp and go, what are you doing, man? You know, you brought Jota in. As soon as he did that press conference at the Palace game, by the way, and he spoke about Jota, I knew he was playing. And I feel we got an issue with Jota right now. He ain't scored since April.
Yeah.
We're coming up to a year. Why not? You know, he's not scored since April. Yes, he's had injuries. It's been an issue. But there was games that he was playing that he weren't scoring in. And I do feel like if you're not putting Jota in his best position, his more suited position, and getting the best out of him, you're wasting him as a player. Because I don't believe the nonsense that Jota's a dead player or anything like that. He's a very talented footballer. Very talented footballer. But you've got to use him correctly. And at the moment, Liverpool are not using him correctly. And you're playing him as a left winger where we're playing possession-based football. Again, Jota at his best. Now, when we bought him and he came in, he had that hat-trick against Atalanta. Because we play quick football, snappy football, you know, getting the attack. We don't play like that no more. So again, with Mo, with Jota, you know, we're not playing to their strengths, and that's why we're not getting the goal. You know, you can't tell me a team of Jota, Gakpo, and Salah and these players can't score. We're not playing to their strengths at all, and that's, you know, that's an issue for the club right now, and I don't know what they need to sort that. Klopp needs to sort that out in the summer. I think when Klopp gets to the pre-season, I think Klopp's going to have a good big pre-season this summer, and he's going to sort out what he wants from this attack. Because Luis Diaz is back any time now. I mean, he's probably back in the next week or two. Next season, for me, I don't think Salah's a Liverpool player. So I think we have got a new free. Look, put it this way, guys. Bobby and Salah could all leave this summer, and that's the front three gone. Look what we bought in the last 12 months. A new front three. Gakpo, Darwin, and Núñez. And then you've got Jota as the fourth.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. Go on, mate.
I was just going to say, but I think that's the problem. I think the problem is.
I'll be back in a minute, JB. Yeah.
You were trying to replace, right? Rather than trying to evolve and change and progress and improve, you're trying to replace something that already existed, and that's an impossible task. Like we have, like if you look at it on paper, what do we have? 4 left wings right now. Like when Luis, when he comes back, I mean, he's the first choice. There is no other choice. Luis Diaz needs to be playing down the left every game he is healthy for. And then that poses the question of, okay, well then if Salah's on the right, now down the middle you have Jota, Firmino, Núñez, and Lord knows who else. Like the amount of depth that we have in these positions is absurd to me that this is what he's trying to do. You're just trying to recreate something that's dead rather than, I don't know, maybe play Salah down the middle and do a 4-2-3-1 and just literally play with 4 forwards, or just try anything else on the face of the earth other than replace the 2019 to 2020, you know, best year of our lives. That just isn't going to happen because that's like trying to find a diamond in the rough that doesn't exist. You know?
Well, you could also play a 2-striker system, but we already talked about that. And he won't do that. So
yeah, I mean, but Salah scored a hat trick in 8 minutes doing that, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly,
Salah came on against the Rangers, scores the fastest hat trick in Champions League history, essentially running a 4-4-2 with Núñez and Salah up front.
Yeah, 40, how you doing, mate?
Oh, good, guys. How's everyone? Everyone good?
Yeah, we're good, mate. We're good. Not too bad.
So basically talk about Liverpool, obviously, and the deficiencies we got. You know what I think, guys? I think the issues we're having is because we haven't got strength and depth. If we had strength and depth, I don't think we face these problems. I don't think we're going to rush our players back at the same time as well. And if you listen to Klopp's interviews on, obviously, on the Crystal Palace game, he gives indications. Sometimes he gives you something out there for you to figure out. He even said he stayed because he didn't want to leave the team behind because of the lack of the quality of the players that we have right now. I know we keep saying about FSG. If the owners don't invest in the team and renew the team, what do you expect the manager to do? That's what I don't understand. Like everybody's like talking about blaming this, blaming that. Every club success depends on the actual team that you got on the pitch and how you refresh it on a continuous basis. This is what Man City is there at the top. This is what Man United have done. This is what the other Arsenal have done. So if you keep refreshing, that means the team will get better and better, and you know, the performances on the pitch will be different. If you know what I mean, guys. That's what I think. That's how I see football. I don't see football. You keep using we've got the same players from 5 years ago. 9 players still in the team. You look at Man City. I think 2 players are still there. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Like, you got to keep refreshing.
I've said before, I blame both. I blame Klopp and I blame FSG, but I'm not going to just blame all on FSG.
Do you know what? Is there an echo? Fozzie, I think you got an
Oh,
echo,
sorry. I think I have it. Sorry about that. Apologies. Go on, mate.
No, it's all right. No, I'm confused by everything right now. I ain't gonna lie. I'm confused because I don't know who is right and who is wrong. Obviously, FSG are wrong because they're not investing enough.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't know if I had this conversation with Kurdish the other day when we did the FSG out debate, and it was a great debate we're talking about. And I said it as well. Like, the year Liverpool won let's go back to when Liverpool won Champions League. We're on power of strength.
Yeah.
Klopp, I believe, and I think I was told as well, and I've heard from. I watched a Jurgen Klopp documentary that was in German. I'd use subtitles, which ain't the greatest, and because you don't know if they're actually genuinely saying what they're saying, if you know what I mean. But he basically made out that it's the first time in his managerial career that he had a squad that didn't want to go anywhere, because at Borussia Dortmund he got that squad so far, but always the best player would go to Bayern Munich. You know, it would happen. Bayern Munich would come and poach Lewandowski.
Of course.
Come and poach, you know. And at Liverpool, he had that squad, and he thought, no, this squad's doing something special. And I don't want to bring anyone in, because I don't think we need to, because next year we're going to do something special. I don't ruin the apple cart. And I understand that. Went on and win the Premier League. He was probably right. But what the owners have got to do at the same time is go, Jurgen, we hear that.
Yeah.
We hear that, right? Do it. But what we're going to do, we're going to get some players in that are not for next season, they're for tomorrow, sort of thing. For 2 years' time, you know. And the problem is, and the only one who could probably match Jurgen's ego at our football club was Michael Edwards. I don't think Julian Ward has got a strong enough personality to go toe-to-toe with Jurgen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why, like, Julian Ward all of a sudden is leaving the football club. Because no one can tell me Julian Ward didn't know how Liverpool will run. You know, he's been at the club. He knows how FSG run this football club. And I think there's something where he's not the powerful figure that he needs to be. And this is why I'm saying, right now, this can't wait till the summer. It has to be done now, because the business needs to be done in the summer. Liverpool need to get a sporting director in. And they need a strong, I don't know about you, Fozzie, but they need a strong personality as well. Because let's face it, Klopp's got an ego, of course he has. He's got a strong personality as well. So you need someone in there who can match Jurgen's personality, match his strength, match his ego, and go, you know what, Jurgen, I know you don't want this, you don't want that, but we as a football club will benefit from A, B or C here and bring to the football club. I don't know what you feel about that, mate.
Yeah, 100%. If you look at Arsenal, guys, like, how did Arsenal improve? They sorted out off the pitch stuff, didn't they? Now they got Edu there, like ex-player, people you can trust. That's what you need. At least Michael Edwards, when he was there, like, he supports the club, as well as Peter Moore. You had all those trustworthy people there that will back you through thick and thin. That's what you need. And people that will challenge you. That's what you need. That's what he hasn't got at the moment. And that, if you haven't got that strength and depth at the back to the front, this is what you're gonna get. Like, you got disarray. Arsenal, when they didn't have that, look where they were. But they were, I think, 12th, 13th at one stage without having that backroom staff in place. You know what I mean? If you have all that, like, in sync from top to bottom, then the success will follow right after that on the pitch. But like I said, if you don't refresh the squad, if you don't have someone challenging Trent Alexander-Arnold, Henderson, Fabinho, if they know they're going to play next week on a continuous basis, this is the performances you're going to get. You know what I mean? Because they know they're going to play in the next game. You guys play football, you know that. You know what I mean? You could play, if you know you're going to play every week, you're not going to keep performing at the best of your standards, are you? You know you're going to play next week. That's how it is. So if we don't get the strength and depth in this team, especially with these owners, you know what I mean? Like, I've been on Spaces, Jamie, as you know. Like, I speak to a lot of people on Spaces and that, and I meet a lot of Americans on there. Not one person in the last 2 years have ever said anything good about FSG, bro. I'm telling you, people from Boston, people from New York, nobody. Nobody ever says anything. They always say you've got bad owners there. So it shows Jurgen Klopp is facing obstacles as he goes along. You look at the pandemic season. Why did we sign? Why did we add on to those players that won the Premier League? Why did we wait? I mean, why the likes of Brighton, all them are strengthening. We make excuses like we can't sign players because we haven't got money. We have to follow our staff. This is Liverpool Football Club. We've become a business. Liverpool Football Club, it shouldn't be a business. We should be like up there with the big teams, like competing on a regular basis. and if you look at these owners, they're lowering our standards. Now we're accepting normality, like Liverpool being at the bottom on 8th position. We should be nowhere near there. We haven't been below 8th since 1962. That's how long ago.
And I agree with everything you're saying as well about the owners. I think everyone is that the owners need to go. I've always said this about FSG. I don't hate them like that.
No, we don't hate them.
I think they did do a good job, but the problem is they can't do that job no more. And if you can't invest into I've always said FSG are very good with their clubs, getting them to the top of the mountain. You know, they did it with the Red Sox. The Red Sox never won. I don't think won a World Series for 99 years till FSG come along and they won 3 or 4. I think. So they're very good at getting back up there. But the problem is they can't last. They can't keep them. So once Liverpool get to the top of the tree, and we were where we were in them 2 years, Champions League, Premier League years, Liverpool then needed to go and get the £70 million midfielder, the £80 million fullback, the £100 million attacker, because that's the level you're at now. You know, when you're climbing, you can go and get the 20, 30, 40 million pound players and keep and work them till they become 100 million pound players. But when you're there, you then need that 100 million pound player. And that's what FSG can't do. And what's going to happen here, I do think this summer Liverpool will buy because they haven't got a choice. You know, the FSG want a team to be successful because they want their money. Mm-hmm. So they can't, they will spend. I've said this all the time, FSG will spend every 4 to 5 years on a big summer. Then we'll all get our hopes up. The next summer there won't be no spending. Summer after that there won't be no spending. And what'll happen is because Klopp's a quality manager, he'll get the team back up here again with the summer he's had. He'll hold it for a couple of years, and then you'll start to see the little downturn in form. And when the downturn happens, FSG don't react, and then it can't come back up. And that's the issue with the club at the moment. But also Klopp has got to take some of the blame. There's no doubt about it. He is very loyal. He's said it himself. He's said it himself plenty of times. He's extremely loyal to his boys. I like that. If you're a player, you want to play for Jurgen. There's no doubt about it, because that loyalty, you do everything for him. But the problem is now the players have got to a part in their career. You know, playing for Jurgen is very intense. I don't think Jurgen's way of playing has got a lot of longevity. Yeah, it's a short-term, like a 5-year thing, and then you need to invest again. This is why I keep saying, I'll just finish on it and then I'll get you guys to chat about it. Mm-hmm. But I've always said the 7-year Jurgen Klopp stuff's a bit of a myth, right? Mm-hmm. And then my reason is because if you look at the 3 clubs he's managed in his career, none of them have money. Yeah. So is that Mainz? What he did with Mainz is amazing. Let's face it. Shouldn't have happened, but it did. He did a brilliant job with them. Eventually got relegated with them because they couldn't invest into the club to keep them going in the top league. Went to Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund were a bit like Liverpool when Jurgen came along. A massive team that are down on their luck. They got old players. They're falling apart. He comes in. He's got a great scouting network. I don't think Klopp's got the best player ID in the world, but he trusts his scouting network to find the players for him. Gets them players in, works his one magic. Dortmund get great again. But the thing is, he goes for so long playing the way he wants to play that the players then start to get tired, and Dortmund need to heavily invest. Dortmund couldn't heavily invest. That's why everything's 7 years. And it's the same with Liverpool. He got Liverpool to where they needed to be. And now the FSG haven't heavily invested, and Liverpool's starting to fall off. So, yeah, I don't know about you guys. I'll let you quickly talk about that. Start with Drew, because Drew just jumped in.
Yeah, me myself. So I grew up in Germany. So actually, I grew up there. Obviously, from birth to, let's just say, like 12 years old. So I've always watched, obviously, German football. My brother still lives there, and we always say this one thing: as long as anywhere Pep goes, anywhere that Jurgen Klopp is and where Pep goes, Jurgen Klopp will always be like number 2, if that makes sense. he will always be second best. Okay, because the difference between the two is that Pep, he's more of a manager. Where this is just my opinion, I feel like Klopp is more like a second fiddle type of guy. This is just me, even though he's our manager, because I feel like for you to be dominating and competing and winning things on a year-to-year basis, you can't be behaving the way Klopp behaves. Klopp is too emotional, too many favorites, he's too stubborn. But when I mean stubborn, I mean like he doesn't feel like anybody's better than his players, which again is unrealistic. So, and then the difference between him and Pep is more like, for example, you could be like, for example, let's just say if Salah was at Man City, okay, as soon as Salah would have a drop off, best believe Salah's not playing. But at Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp will continue playing him. That's the difference between Pep and Klopp. So for me, as long as wherever Pep goes and Klopp is always there, Klopp will always be second. Now, for Jamie's point, in terms of him saying he feels like obviously down the line that Liverpool will somehow get back up again, I don't agree with that, because I think the way that the world is going with spending and investments and people from Qatar and Saudi or wherever they're coming from, or India, I think that Liverpool will be left behind, and I don't think we're going to get back to where we was in terms of, oh yeah, in a few years we might get back up there, because I simply don't think we are going to invest, especially with how the market is going as well. 200, 250 mil is not enough. I'll be honest. It's just not enough. It's not enough. Too many people are depending on Jude Bellingham to somehow be Superman, to be playing 3 people's position at once, which again I think is unrealistic, because all I see is all we need is Jude Bellingham and somehow miracles going to happen and we're going to be okay. Not going to happen. It's not realistic. He's one human being. He's only got 2 legs. He can't do 3 people's jobs. Okay, he's going to cost over 100 million, and we're not going to be spending 500 mil. Other point is that we need more centre backs. It's just me. We need a lot more centre backs. I don't like Gomez. I've seen Gomez for a long time. 3 of my friends have played with him at Charlton. They grew up together. They know him personally. They know his parents. Like, for me, Gomez has always been like a physical defender, but he lacks defensive awareness. Okay, so for me, I don't like him. I don't trust Gomez playing next to Trent, because for me, Trent just doesn't give a F about defending. He just wants to go forward. He doesn't care. For me, somebody like Trent needs to play in the back 3, not as in the back 3 as in the right centre back. He needs to play RM. That's just my opinion. I don't feel like you can trust Trent to play right back. And if you guys remember, when Man City had Leroy Sané, the moment Leroy Sané actually came to play for City and he was destroying him and Gomez, I realized Trent can't play right back. It's not possible. He just can't. He has to play RM. He can't play right back. It's not possible. Especially when you have Gomez next to Trent, which is even more of a liability because Gomez can't defend anyway. I mean, he can't read the game well enough for me. And then obviously the other positions like Nunes and Gakpo for me as well. I feel like Gakpo playing on the wing or wherever he's playing, again, doesn't make sense. I don't want to see somebody that's 6'4" playing on the wing. For me, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
That would be the tallest winger I've ever seen. I would agree. I would. But I just wanted to bring this up. So apparently, United are not selling now because the share price has dropped. So Man United's share price is down to almost 10% on Monday, and concerns the Glazers will not sell. The Financial Times report that has calculated the club are worth only 1.3 billion.
Yeah, they won the money. The Glazers won like 4 or 5 billion, and if it's dropped 10%, they're not going to get that. They're not going to get that.
They're not selling now. They're not selling by the look of it. But no, like what you're saying, Drew. No, I understand a lot of things you're saying now. The thing with Liverpool.
Actually, Jamie, can I ask you a question?
Go on, mate.
Do you think that we also need to maybe actually copy Arsenal style in terms of we need actually a midfielder that can score goals? Instead of just playing our simple, like everybody knows how we play 4-3-3, heavy metal football, running up and down. Like a lot of teams have sussed us out by now, and you can't keep depending on Salah. Like a lot of Liverpool style now is basically just pass it to Salah and let Salah do a miracle. Like we also have to remember these are human beings. They can't. This is not realistic things that we want these people to do on a week-to-week basis.
No, you're right, man. You're right. It's just it's so frustrating at the moment the way this club is run by the owners, the way the manager's acting at right now, the way the players are acting, the systems we're picking, the tactics we're picking. You know, the owners, saying 1 week we're going to sell, everyone's happy. Next week, no, we're not going to sell now. We're going to keep the club, and then they're talking about big summers. No, I think Liverpool will have a big summer, but it determines what you mean by big summer. Yeah, that's the thing. I think Liverpool will buy players because I don't think they've got a choice. I think they have to buy players. Liverpool going to let a lot of players go. They go a lot of players go in the summer, which obviously a lot of these players have got high wages that are coming off the wage bill, so that comes off the wage bill can go in the transfer kitty. I do think there's something telling me Mo's going to leave. I just think Mo's going to leave the football club. And
well, how do you feel about that, JB? Though him leaving,
well, Mo leaving,
leaves, yeah. Where do you stand with that?
I've been saying it for a while now. So with Mo, I look at him as like from January to January, Mo has not been the same player. There's just no doubt about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Partly, I think it's because of age. I think we do have to take that into account.
Yeah, definitely.
Mo relies on his explosiveness and his athleticism. When you get into your 30s, that starts to die down a little bit. Unless you're a freak, unless you're a Messi or a Ronaldo, or a Modric at 37. But how many of them are actually in world football? You know what I mean?
Few far between. Yeah.
Exactly. And Salah's not a freak, and Salah's worked on his game and he's worked to be where he is right now. But we don't play the way that suits Mo Salah.
Yeah.
And we haven't played that way for about a year now, about 12 months.
Jamie.
And we play a different way now. We play tactical. We play out from the back. I've never seen a team pass more to their goalkeeper in my life than we do. Right, Alisson has against Palace. We got the ball. I saw it so many times. Henderson dropped back, picked the ball off Matip, went back to Matip, went back to Alisson, went back to Virgil, went back to Alisson, went back to Trent, went back to Virgil. How is Mo meant to set up in a forward position when that's happening at the back? It's impossible. So it affects his game. And if we're going to continue playing like that, then there's no point having Mo Salah.
You know what I've noticed about Mo Salah, Jamie? Like, if you look at Mo Salah, guys, like he's not that type of player. Like, if you look at Messi or Ronaldo, they're individuals, aren't they? They will perform even if the team is bad. You still see glimpses of their quality in it. Without that old midfield machine that he had in the past, he's not the same player. That's what That's what I've noticed, Jamie.
Sure,
like, you get what I'm saying? Like, he needs those runners. He needs those players that get the ball to him. He needs someone like Mane on the other side that does the similar things to him as well to motivate him for the game and things like that. Since he hasn't had that, I swear to you, I think he hasn't been the same player anymore. I just think like he shows glimpses, but that's about it. But it takes a while for him to show that as well now.
And I think Bobby's a big miss to him as well.
Yeah.
I think Bobby's a huge miss to him because I think what we see now is the job Bobby did. Because we went with Darwin at the beginning of the season as at number 9. Darwin wants to play into the space. He wants to play off the shoulder. He wants to invade the space that probably Salah wants to invade as well. So what they did, they pushed Salah wider to become more of a creative player for Darwin, which is mental when he's been your main goal scorer for 4 years. That is, whoever thought of that tactic should be shot. It should be like, so like they had a meeting that summer and went, you know what, we're going to get Darwin in, and with Mo, we're going to make him a creative winger like Mahrez. And someone should have just gone, what? He's like Liverpool's 6th full-time goal scorer or whatever it is, and you want to make him. No, that's not his job. He's not Hazard. He's not a Mahrez. He's a goal-scoring winger. And that's what he does. Get him in goal-scoring positions, Mo will score for you. Play high-intense football, play on the front foot, play counter-attacking football, let him press, get him into spaces. He will score for you. Exactly. And so we played him out wide, got Darwin through the middle, played Diaz off the other wing. I think the Diaz signing is the thing that affected it all. Because Diaz is not a Mane and he's not a Mo. He's not an inside forward.
Exactly.
Diaz is actually more of your Mahrez. He's an actual creative winger.
Yeah.
He likes to keep touch tight.
Do you know what's funny, Jamie? Is that I always tell my friend, you see Diaz, he's very much like I don't know if you guys like know what I'm about to say, but you know these wingers that they're very much they can do everything, but when they shoot, most likely it's either going to hit the crossbar or the post.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your special one will fly in.
Yeah, it's not really
Yeah.
exactly, but it's not like a Mane where it's going to go in more times. It's really not. Like you're kind of like, yeah, more, yeah, it might go in, it might go not. Like, yeah. It's like,
It all goes on to Klopp though. Is stopping us with a 4-3-3 because surely you get a new striker and you have a guy banging in goals and you try to evolve and you play with the two of them, but it didn't happen.
Goals. He's always Mo's always going to score goals. Yeah, I've got like Imi said here. The guy looked like fools at the NC when he scores 31 goals and 15 assists. Jamie changed his tune.
oh god.
Ronaldo scored 26 goals for Man United last season. Didn't stop them getting rid of him. And Mo ain't Ronaldo. Yeah, so Mo will always score goals. No matter. He will always score goals. Mo will always get 20 a season. But does it benefit the team? That's
the
what
thing.
Got to ask. Does it benefit the team? Because how many good games has Mo had in 12 months, guys?
I don't know.
It's
hard to tell, mate.
Not a lot, yeah.
Not a lot.
And that's an issue. But he's probably scored in 12 months like 30 goals.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that a benefit for the team? This is what the club have got to work out. The club have literally got to sit there and go, is selling Mo this in the summer actually the right time?
It's very much like Harry Kane, isn't it? Very much like scoring all the goals, but the team is still losing. So what's the good?
Exactly.
It's decisiveness, isn't it? What does it decide his goals? Does it win you games or not? That's the thing. Like, and what I noticed about Mo Salah's goals, there ain't that many decisive goals other than probably penalties that he did. I don't remember him like winning games with his goals, if you know what I mean. It's never decisive. It doesn't like decide the game. Apart from the Man United game, I remember.
You know what's funny? The person that usually scores the leads, which is probably Firmino, is probably the one that scores the more decisive goals.
Exactly.
And Bobby's only got one less Premier League goal than Mo this season. Wow. And Mo's played every Premier League game.
That's a scary thing, mate.
And isn't that a thing nowadays? So the tunnel vision on stats, so then you forget the games and like how he actually performed, and like some people like are more important with pre-assists, like the pass before the pass, and how like they lead towards general play, and the person just taps in a goal after playing bad.
I love Mo to bits. We all do. He's a great player. He's in our top 10 greatest ever goal scorers. John Barnes is my hero. He never stayed at Liverpool forever. You know what I mean? I'm 41, so I started supporting Liverpool when I was around 9 or 10. My dad's obviously a massive Liverpool fan. He sat me in front of the telly, and it was back then on TV in England. You had something called the Big Match on ITV. Match. And that's the only game you could watch.
Brian Moore.
Back then. Yeah, and it was usually Liverpool on telly because they were the best team in the country at the time. And I was sitting there watching a Liverpool game. I was watching this John Barnes in his ridiculous small shorts. Yeah, with a massive arse, big legs, but he moved like an angel. He glided on the football pitch, and I never see anything like it. And from that day on, I was hooked as a Liverpool fan. But he still is the greatest winger that's ever played for Liverpool. And he went eventually. You know, you have to move on. And
that's the problem.
Everyone forgets, like, John Barnes scored 24 goals a season for Liverpool as an actual left winger, not an attacker, an actual left winger. That man was quality. And he left Liverpool eventually. Everyone does. We let John Aldridge go. We let Ian Rush go to Juventus for a year and bought a lookalike.
Bought him back, yeah. And we bought him back, as well.
We bought a lookalike in John Aldridge. And
what a team that was.
And then Dalglish was like, I can't have both of you because no one knows the difference. The one we have to go. And Aldridge went again. But Aldridge got 100 goals in 18 months. And he left. He got 100 goals in 18 months and he left. I think, like, we complain about Klopp being sentimental a lot. I think this fan base is sentimental with a lot of players.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only difference. 'Cause I know somebody in the chat was saying about me comparing him to Klopp. Like, if they're both, I think even if Klopp and Pep had the same money, I still think Pep would dominate because Klopp is too sentimental. Like all these favorites. I know Liverpool's we are really like, you know, our foundation is based on emotions and feelings and atmosphere and the fans, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty, I feel like Klopp, because of how sentimental and favoritism and stuff, I feel like he will always come short. He will always come second because he doesn't have that grit to actually go beyond that and be like, no, we need to do this. Like, no, like you see how like the Pep, the Mourinho's, the Carlo Ancelotti's, he's one at Tottenham. I forgot his name. Oh Jesus, I love that.
Conte.
Conte, like these players, like these managers, they could not give a F if you scored 50 goals a season. Okay, if they feel like you're not playing good enough, you're being dropped or you're gonna go. If they feel like you're being disruptive, you're gonna drop.
True, but don't you think like we're prejudging something we don't even know about? Like, don't you think like we haven't seen Klopp with money, so why are we judging him before? Like, if he has money, maybe he will be different. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I see it, mate. You got to give that benefit of the doubt sometimes to managers. You know what I mean? Like Klopp, Pep Guardiola, he always walks into a team that's already like have money. They're ready-made clubs. You know what I mean? Klopp doesn't do that. If he broke the Bayern Munich mold, like, and he won the league, and he's still the last person to win the league over there, other than Bayern Munich, it clearly shows he knows what he's doing. He just needs investment, Drew.
Ozzy, but couldn't you flip that around? Because what you're doing is hoping that he would be good with money as well. So it's the same the other way around.
Because my point is that German football, let's be honest, German football is, let's really be honest, like it's not. Yeah. It's not anything special. It's like a two club league, if three at best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe Dortmund.
But still, like nobody's broke that mold. I mean, it's him. It was him, the last one that did it.
Would you say, the German league's the best in Europe this season? Because I've been saying it. I think the Premier League.
It's more competitive than the Premier League.
I think the Premier League is terrible this year. I think the match quality in a lot of the teams, I think it's really bad.
But do you know what is, Jamie? Is that German football? Yeah, they tend to play a lot more. So it makes sense to why Klopp is the way he is. They play more high lines, if that makes sense. They play more high lines. Everything is always end to end. You always have these crazy scores, 5-6 and 6-5 and 4-3. Like it's a madness going over there. If you get what I mean. So they always have these high line teams to where it makes it look more like end to end or entertaining. But I do have a question. Do you guys not think that playing a back three would suit us more with Trent and Robertson, letting them do whatever they want to do with a back three? And when I mean a midfielder that can score goals, I don't mean because somebody said Bellingham. No, those are not the players I'm talking about. I'm talking about them Odegaard types, them Fekir types.
Oh, yeah, like Madison, right? He scores a lot of goals.
I'm not talking about.
You want like a Kevin De Bruyne, someone who can just come in and change the game by just dribbling it past everyone. I mean, the amount of times that we see him do it.
I mean,
Hang on 1 second. The wife is on the chat here. So the wife has spoken. She wants everyone hit that like button. So the wife has spoken. So don't let her get angry. Everyone hit the like button. Big up the wife. Big up the wife. Thank you very much.
Big up the wife.
But no, you're right. The last goal scoring midfielder we had was Oxlade-Chamberlain.
I mean, and he was healthy for what, like 9 months? And
I think, did he get 11 or 12 goals that season as well? I think he was the last real goal scoring midfielder we had. But
what about Coutinho? Coutinho, would you guys like that?
Coutinho,
I'd say like Gini got some important goals for us as well. He didn't get a lot, but he maybe got 3 or 5, maybe I'd say.
He changed his game, didn't he, to a more holding midfielder kind of player.
But you see, guys, those are not the players I'm on about. I mean, more like the tens, like like I'm talking about a scoring midfielder that can't defend because all he knows is to go forward. If that makes sense, all he knows is to score goals. That's all he does.
Weren't that why we bought Carvalho?
That's what I was about to say, Jamie.
Yeah, but
he doesn't use a 10, so it's useless. Yeah,
he's also 18 years old.
I also don't know why we bought him because I've been saying it for a while. I don't know if that was a Klopp buy, and I think we're looking at it now that weren't a Klopp buy, because he doesn't play in the way Klopp wants to play. Like I honestly think Jurgen Klopp fell into a way of playing that got successful, right? Personally,
perfect.
I think he fell into a way of playing. Like Robbo and Trent came into this team, and what they did for us going forward was so creative. You wouldn't take that away from them. So to make them creative, you need like a workhorse midfield. So the midfield is non-creative. Let the fullbacks be the creative ones, and you play that high line, high intensity, high pressure, and you get them, and you get the ball. Basically, the midfield was there to do was protect the fullback so they can attack and create, and win the ball back so quickly they just give it to the forward players straight away. That was their job, and Klopp fell into that. And at the moment, I think he's trying to get away from it. Is why the last 12 months we've changed into a tick-attacker possession team that don't suit any of the players we got.
You don't have the players to do that.
And it don't suit the players. And now Klopp knows it don't suit the players. And I think Klopp's trying to go back to what he did do before. But the problem is now the players can't do it because they're absolutely dead.
They're dead.
Exactly. And that's the issue.
I would rather see them play not even a back three, but I would rather see us play a back five and just sit back every game and just concede 70% of the possession every single game. Sit Salah and Nunez up front because the system we have for them is broken, and that's the reason why Salah is.
Mike, what I fail to understand is why did we get away? Sorry, Jamie. Like what I fail to understand is why did we get away from that formation we had against Man City, the one we beat them? That's what I don't understand.
We played part of us football in a kind of way, didn't we?
Exactly.
And we left the quick attackers on the halfway line and sort of cheated a little bit, and it scared the crap out of City.
You know why? Because we went to Dubai and he saw them run around a bit. So I could do 4-3.
I think also people forget about that game that Holland missed a sitting header in the first half. Like in form Holland, that game should have been 1-0 City in the first half. But we did play unbelievable. But at the end of the day, even when we play the 4-3-3, like all of our best attacking things come from counters. Even when we're trying to play the tiki-taka possession games, every single goal, every single attacking opportunity is from a counter that came from an opposing attack. Every time we try to build up play, we just get countered on, and then we score on the counter to the counter, if that makes sense. So why not eliminate that and just sit everyone at the back, put Salah and Nunez up front, and
Mike, you see that playing style, yeah? That playing style, I think that's what I said earlier to Jamie, is that playing style, teams know that that's all we do because we don't have the technical players to do anything else. So that is why, like, I don't know if you guys heard that comment that Ancelotti made. I think he was saying that he wasn't worried about Liverpool. Like he's not worried about Liverpool. Like, they don't.
Because Real Madrid didn't press us at all in that game. By the way, they literally just stood off us and let us know what we wanted.
Like prior to the game, even days before the game, he said, "No, I'm not worried. Like none of us are even thinking about the game. We're just training."
Yeah, he said they're focusing on that game in the league or whatever.
We're out here having smokes and drinking.
We literally don't have like my problem is that, for example, like we don't have the technical players to break teams down. That is what really.
It's like you said, Drew. Like the issue we have is we're relying on fullbacks to create our chances. When you step away from the midfield and the attackers creating chances.
The worst thing is that like I've never seen a club that literally, for example, when we had Mane and Salah and Fabinho, we would do all types of crosses. And I was thinking, do you guys know that these players are short? Okay, so even if they do score a miracle header like Jota. Which even I think Jota's like at least 6'4" in like when he's in the penalty box, because I don't know how he does it. Yeah, I don't know how he's scoring all these headers. Okay, because that's not meant to happen. But now that we have 6'4", 2 players in the box that's 6'4", now all of a sudden nobody's crossing the ball anymore.
Yeah. Drew, it's because they've got like a little roulette wheel in their boots, so it just spins round and picks whatever it wants. So just random.
I just think for the rest of the season, I look at this team for the rest of the season. I think, who's our best players? Who's our best players right now? And they're all the forwards. So I'd be like, let's just build the team around a formation and a tactical thing where we're just basing it on the forward play. Right? We know we're going to concede goals because we're just shocking at the moment. Let's just go back to old Liverpool when Klopp first came around, right? In the first 2 seasons, try and outscore teams, because at least it'd be fun to watch. Yeah. Because at the moment, we are the most boring big side I've seen in years. And I just want to be exciting to watch again. Let's just go back and let's just put, like the Palace game. I'm shocked that he didn't go Bobby in the 10, Jota in the 9, Gakpo on the left and Salah on the right, and just play a pivot in the middle and just go, you know what? It's not working what we're doing after half time. Let's just go for it because we need 3 points. No, that Palace game is huge. We beat Palace. That's 3 Premier League wins in a row. No clean sheets as well. And you go to Wolves, you're thinking, beat Wolves in your game in hand on midweek. You level on points with Newcastle, and I think a point behind Spurs. I'd actually make us favourite for the top 4 then. But now you've got a lot of pressure on the Wolves game that didn't need to be there, and it's mad.
Jamie, can I ask you, do you think when everybody's fit, do you think that we're then going to be like, well, buying Nunes and Gakpo was a waste? Well, sorry, not everybody. I mean, like the front two, I guess, because Salah's still there.
This is my thing. I'm thinking that they are.
Diaz has to play. That Diaz can't be sitting there, and I'm not gonna lie. I think Jota should play ahead of Nunes. Like I don't. If he's fit, I'd rather have him play.
Not at the moment, but maybe maybe next season, yeah.
Maybe look, this is where again they've got a massive. They've got to work out. Have they been playing Gakpo? Because there's a reason Klopp and his staff have looked at Gakpo and gone, you've been a left winger your whole career, even when you were a kid. But you're at Liverpool now, son, and you're going to be a centre forward. And something else.
That's because he had his mind.
Yeah, and something's just like Klopp's just looked at it and he's experimenting with something for a reason. This is what I'm saying. Because when Jota came on, Jota played left. When Darwin comes on, Darwin's playing left. You know, the 2 people you'd think will play more 9 are now playing left, where the bloke who's played in left his whole career is playing 9. And I think Klopp's looking at experimenting with something. And if that's the case, you don't need Bobby. If he wants Gakpo as a false 9, there's no point keeping Bobby Firmino, so you let him go. Mm-hmm. Then you look at Mo and go, is he trying to break away from this old front 3? Because you are right. Why buy Gakpo when he's meant to be a left winger, when you've got Luis Diaz? Yes, I know you need squad depth. But then you got Jota. Then, and Darwin Núñez, you bought, everyone thought he's going to be the number 9. He's probably going to be the number 9 eventually for Liverpool, right? Yeah. But playing 4-3-3 doesn't suit Darwin Núñez as a number 9 because he's no good with his back to goal. Exactly. Right? If you go back and watch Darwin at Benfica, Darwin played off another striker. Yeah, and that gets the best out of Darwin. You know, Darwin don't play centre forward for Uruguay. He plays left wing, and still a 48-year-old Suarez still plays number 9. You know, who ain't got the legs anymore.
That comes back to what you said, though, Drew, about not having technical players. Because I feel like Darwin would get more out of Darwin with technical players who could do more through balls and stuff. But we don't play that way as well. So
you see, Darwin. He very much reminds me of an Aubameyang. When Aubameyang was at Dortmund and Arsenal, these guys, they're not players that like contact. They're not contact type players. They don't want to be touching the defender. They don't want to be feeling his shirt. They just want to play on the shoulder into the space, and that is very much it. But that's not going to happen really if you don't have, like, you see players like Aubameyang, Gakpo, Núñez. They're very much like, you need to play the ball to them when they're making that run. They're not very much like once they've made the run, they want to come back and then do another run. They're very much like, now's the time, play it right now. I don't want to make a second run or a third run just because you've missed it. It's very much like Haaland. Haaland's very much like, you have to play him when he's making his run. Not you changing your mind and waiting 10 minutes to, he's got to come back on side and then go run again. These players, they don't want to play like that. But Harry Kane is more like, I don't mind if you don't want to play it to me. I'll come back and I'll hold it up for you if you want. Or the rest, our players are more like, play it when I'm running. Play it right now. Play it perfect timing. You get what I mean?
I get what you mean, bro. Like, but with Darwin Núñez, like, if you look at him, when he came, he was raw, wasn't he? He was making like horrendous passes. The touches were not good enough. Now you could see like all that's coming together. Maybe that's what, like Jamie said, they're experimenting with the team. Maybe this is why he's playing out wide. Maybe he wants him to become an all-round player instead of like just one-dimensional. Maybe this is why he's playing in different positions. And as soon as he understands the other side of football, then they're gonna use him as a number 9. For Gakpo, guys, I just don't know what's going on. I really don't know. Maybe with Gakpo, they're trying to turn him into the new Firmino. So while Firmino's still here, just use him up in that position and he could learn of Firmino at the same time. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. I thought he was a wide player when he first came, but he's not. It doesn't look like he's going to play him there anytime soon either.
You see, when it comes to the wingers, I think that, this is just me personally, I think when you reach a certain height, I think you have to be godly talented to play on the wing. Like, unless you are CR7, Leroy Sané, Thierry Henry, maybe that guy that's at AC Milan, maybe he can get away with it. That Rafael Leao, like, but when you're somebody at that height, I don't care if you're fast or whatever, because playing on the wing requires very much like a high IQ, because everything has to be very fast, because it's very like you don't have enough space to be taking your time. And I think that's the problem with Gakpo. He's more like, whenever he's playing on the wing, he's not press resistant, and especially like when it comes to his first touch and stuff, he's very much like he's touching the ball and then he's looking at the ball, and because he's looking at the ball, other people are coming at him, rushing, putting pressure on him, and then he's looking at, oh shit, I've got 10 people around me by now, and now I've lost the ball. And I think that is purely because your height just doesn't help you playing on the wing, because you don't have the agility, you're not nimble, you don't have like you see that guy that's at Arsenal, Trossard. I wish we would have got him. I wish we would have got him. All nimble type players. That guy at Wolves, that what's his name? I think his name is Podence.
Yeah,
Podence, very much.
Small guy, yeah.
I love players like that. The one that got injured at Wolves as well, that I think he's Chinese.
Neto. Is it Neto? Or?
No.
You're talking about Huang, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I love that guy. Huang, very much similar as well. Those are the type of players that, to be honest, I know Jamie said that obviously Gakpo came in and on the wing, and that was the issue. But to me, I'm more like, if we brought in a Trossard, Podence, like Huang, or that Matoma on the wing, I wouldn't have an issue, because I feel like these players can actually compete with Diaz. But the issue is that you've brought in a Gakpo that can't even play on that side. You can't put Nunes there. You can't put Gakpo there. And to me, I feel like if Nunes can somehow get in contact with Harry Kane's shooting coach, because wherever he taught Harry Kane to shoot is a master. I think Nunes could be incredible. He's got everything else.
If Nunes,
he's improving. He's improving.
You can see what I will say on Darwin, because I've got to wrap this up in 1 second, guys.
No,
the one thing I will say about Darwin is that you can see there's improvements as the season's gone on in his game. There's definitely been improvements. I think the stuff on social media did affect Darwin, because he's active on social media and he's looking at it. You see him, he was replying to people earlier on and stuff like that. And I think that did affect him. I really do. But I think Darwin's the one I look at out of all of them, even Luis Diaz, where I think has got the most potential out of everybody. Even Luis Diaz. I know a lot of people rave about Luis Diaz and love Luis Diaz, and he's a great footballer. But I just think there's so much potential in Darwin Núñez. And, you know, Carlo Ancelotti, in the beginning of the season, was doing an interview and talking about the next generation of strikers, and he brought up Darwin Núñez, and he brought it up for a reason. And, you know, I look at Darwin's game and I think he's frightening. He's already scaring defenders already. You know, no one wants to go one-on-one with him. His pace is unbelievable. He's got great athleticism, great movement. It gets caught offside a little bit sometimes, but I think that's getting less and less now as well. He's learning his game. I think we forget how young he is, and he's not long. And also what we think we forget as well, he's not actually been a professional footballer that long either. You know, that's another thing. I think he's only been playing for like 3 years as a professional. You know, Haaland been playing, I think, a little bit longer, even if he's about the same age. He's been playing a little bit longer in lower leagues than that.
What was he doing? Was he playing semi-pro, or was it like, what did they do over there? I don't know.
I think Darwin was in South America as a young guy, weren't he? And then he went to what's the first club he went to in Europe?
To be honest,
it was a Spanish team, wasn't it?
It was a Spanish team, wasn't it? Was it Almira? Was it Almira?
I think so. Yeah,
Almira. And then he went to Benfica, and he was in Benfica's youth team for a little bit, and then he went into their first team. So he's not been a professional footballer for long either. So that's why I look at Darwin and think he's got so much potential, man. Yeah. He's got so much potential. And well, Luis Diaz worries me. I don't know why. I've got this feeling that Luis Diaz will leave Liverpool quite soon. I don't know why. There's something in the back of my head that's saying that Luis Diaz might be a player that might have more want to play in Spain. I just feel it. I don't know why. I just feel it. I think Darwin ticks a lot. Luis Diaz ticks a lot of boxes for Barcelona and Real Madrid. I really do. But Darwin, he's going to be a superstar. Just stop comparing him to Haaland, because no, Haaland is. Haaland's a freak. But what I will say is, I think Darwin's got almost a better all-round game. But Haaland's just a freak in front of goal. And I hate it when people go, "Oh, Haaland just gets tap-ins." Well, if it was that easy, why does every striker not get tap-ins? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, but then again, you got to think as well. Those tap-ins are coming from certain players that can do certain things.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Bernardo Silva
yeah.
and Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
Mhm.
City are
Yeah.
far more tactical in the wide areas than Liverpool are. You look at Grealish; he's not a goal-scoring winger. He's just not. And Mahrez he does get goals, but they're tactically more creative wingers, and Liverpool don't have that. Liverpool just have three speedsters that all want to score goals, and it worked for a while, but at the moment it doesn't help the Gakpos and the Darwins.
And do you know what? Do you know what, James, as well? I do think that it's weird because I think that Pep is gonna start playing. Because I'm quite shocked that they haven't really played that. Was it Alvarez guy? I think he's gonna be very good as well at City. And I think that if they keep playing them two together, it's gonna be a problem. Because for some reason Haaland plays better when Alvarez is playing. So in my head, I'm thinking, can Liverpool not do like the Jota Nunes thing? Would that not work? Jota Nunes and see how it goes, or because the Bobby, like I'm talking about two players that can actually score goals, because I think that's always frightening because usually let's just say if you have somebody like a Nunes and Firmino, we all know that most likely Firmino's not a goal scoring player anyway. He's more like a playmaker, assist. He can score headers every now and then. He will score, but teams aren't like, oh my gosh, he's gonna score, guys. Look at the team sheet, Firmino. But when they see someone like Nunes, when they see someone like Haaland, Alvarez, they're very much like shit. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I can swear. You're very much like both of them can score, and I think that's the thing with City. To why I think teams are really scared of them, because they're like, everybody in that team can score goals, no matter what. Probably even the goalkeeper can score. Everybody in that team can score goals, so you can't even pick up just one player. But Liverpool is like, if you take out Mo Salah, nobody's scared of Gakpo. I'm sorry, Gakpo, but no one's scared of you. Probably Nunes, and the rest is just no one is. The rest are like, nobody's scared of any other player in our team, really.
No, I agree.
Nobody mentioned this from back when we talk about Gakpo becoming a false nine. By the way, if we were so fixated on changing him, why didn't you just get Nkunku that we were linked to and said no to before? Like, why? What is it? Was it just a few 30 million that FAG didn't want to spend, or was it Klopp just?
And this is why I don't trust Klopp with your signings. I can't trust him with money. I just couldn't.
I'll get one spot with Gakpo. I've just got this feeling. Gakpo can be a midfielder.
Oh yeah.
I've been saying it for a while now. I've got lambasted when I said Gakpo's a false nine. Been proved right. I just look at Gakpo and I look at what he does. I don't see him as a winger for Liverpool. I just don't. I just don't think he is quick, but I don't think he's got that turn of.
Exactly, he doesn't have that agility and all that.
He doesn't have that agility to be a winger. That's why Darwin's playing left wing, because he does. Darwin has that ridiculous agility and movement and speed on the left wing that Gakpo won't have. I look at Gakpo sometimes when he comes really deep in that false nine position and gets a midfield position and he holds up the ball and he can turn on it and give it and then go again. I look at that and think, he could probably play midfield, you know. He could probably play midfield. So I don't know if that's what they're looking at. That's why he's playing 9 at the moment and letting him drop back, because they're looking like, if they put him straight in midfield, it looks stupid. But playing him as a false 9 and letting him drop back the way he is, they're probably looking at him thinking, he could be a midfielder, you know, in a couple of years. He could be a midfielder in a couple of years.
And that's the one you need in it, like a number 8, Jamie. Like someone that could run from the midfield and score goals, and he could be the one that everybody's asking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And with Diaz, because I've got to wrap this up, with Diaz, I think Darwin and Diaz could cook. I really do. I think Luis Diaz could be that technical winger, that technical wire player that Darwin could have. Because when they played together at the beginning of the season for his injury, they're actually linking up quite nicely, and I think them the two players that could be very special next season if we can keep them fit. But
100%.
Guys, I've got to leave it there, man, because I've got to get the kids to bed and everything. It's a school night after all, and can't wait till they turn 18. I can just go on all night then. But Jersey boy, big up to you, man. Thank you for coming on. John, thank you for coming on. Fozzie, Mike, Drew, big up to you guys. Thank you for everyone that came on today. I do appreciate it. Guys, what I'll probably do a call-in show every Monday night. Talk about the weekend's games. You know how crap Liverpool are, all that sort of stuff. It's quite a good time to do it. And then, guys, I'm back tomorrow at 12:30 with more Liverpool show. I think Jurgen Klopp's press conferences sometime tomorrow, so we'll be talking about that as well and previewing the Wolves game where a win don't look pointless now, don't it? But yeah, guys, big up to everyone. Don't get guys go and subscribe to Fozzie's channel. Fozzie, let them know where they can find you, man.
I'm on LFC Reds Forever, people. Like, you can find me there. That's my channel. Please subscribe to it if you can. Thank you, Jamie.
No worries, man. Jersey
Nice
boy,
to meet you all as well. Sorry.
Jersey boy, let the world know where they can find your channel as well and what you're up to.
Yeah, world of football. I obviously I'm a Liverpool fan as well, but I do all the top 5 leagues, watch-alongs for La Liga, League One, and that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to take their watch-along levels to a whole new level. That's why now I'm working with Coppish to help their graphics and stuff. So I'm trying to expand the brand of more high-tech watch-alongs, and that's what I'm doing on World of Football.
Yeah, big up. Yeah, guys, if you watch Coppish and you see what the backgrounds and all that on Coppish and the stuff they're doing on the screen there, that's all because of Jersey Boy right there. So if you want all that stuff, get in contact with him, man. Get in contact with him. Mike, Drew, thank you very much for coming on, guys. Do appreciate it.
Thank you.
John, always a pleasure, my man. Thank you very much. Jenny in the chat as well. Don't forget to go and subscribe to Jenny's channel as well. Right, guys. See you tomorrow, 12:30. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye-bye.